Big jug of water, right? I'm excited for Survivor. Survivor starts this Wednesday. What is it? The War of the Winners? Winners at War? Well, I'm super stoked. And I found another Survivor friend to watch it with me. A guy in my cast I'm in right now is a super, probably bigger than me fan. That's pretty impressive. So he didn't have anyone to watch it with either. And even though the missus watches it with me, she's not as interested. Let me switch this around here. She's not as interested. So because of that, oh, hello, King Harold Fairway of Norway. That's an awesome name. But anyway, because of that, I said, well, dude, come on. Let's do this. Thirsty, you got a leg in that thing for real, man. Look how big this is. Hey, Benzo, how's it going? No, but anyway, I was just talking about Survivor. And so, yeah, we're going to watch it together. So I'm really excited. It's been a while since I've had a Survivor party. Yes, I'm one of those old men who still watch Survivor. I've watched it since, for the last 20 years. Because I remember a buddy of mine, the season premiere when it was coming on, he said, hey, have you heard about the show Survivor? I went, yeah, I did hear about that. He went, you want to watch it? Now, I wasn't going to watch it, but I was like, well, yeah, if you're going to watch it, we can watch it. And I remember we were near our parents' house, like a block away from my parents' house. I said, let's just go to my parents' house and watch it. And so we did. And then we started going over to my apartment and watching it. And then we started doing Survivor parties and everything. And it was big. And I had the board game. We played the board game one night and everything. It was crazy stuff. It's pronounced fair hair. Oh, I'm sorry. I pronounced it wrong. Fair hair. You're right. I cannot read. See, the reason I'm doing this is because one of the girls has a double ear infection. So I stayed up last night with her. And I had an energy drink this morning to get me on my way. And then tonight for practice, I was like, you know what? I can do one more. Don't do that. I shouldn't have done that. I'm not tired. So I should have known that. A Coke, a regular cola would have been fine. I don't drink cola after 8 unless I want to be up late. And I should never drink an energy drink. Never. It was so late. It was like 6 at night. So, hold on, let me take another sip. So I'm drinking water now. I think this is like your daily intake, one big jug. So I take it to work with me usually and drink through it. But since I forgot to bring it. I was so tired this morning when I walked out. I left it and I was like, oh no. And all I had was my energy drink. And I like to drink this first to get me going, get water in me, and then reward myself with the energy drink about noon. Because I can finish this by noon, sipping on it while I'm doing my job. And I didn't bring it. So I was like, oh, I got to start with the energy drink. And that it didn't feel right. I am doing great, Michael. No, it's fine to have a Southern accent too. Hey, yeah, right on. If it didn't have the Southern accent, I would take a Cajun accent. Because Cajuns have like the best accent, I think. I've always thought that. There was a guy who used to sleep on my couch called Seth Biado. And he would tell me, after several beers, man, one day I'm going to be a doctor. I said, you're going to be a doctor? I said, yeah, man, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a good doctor. I'm going to take care of you and take care of anyone else. That's the kind of doctor I'm going to be. I was like, yeah, whatever. I went to his graduation as a doctor. He's a doctor now in South Louisiana. Dr. Biado. I was really proud of him, too. And after the graduation, I lost touch. This is back before the internet was really that big, before social media was irrelevant. And so you had someone's email address, I think, but people changed email addresses so much back then. I think it was an AOL address too. It was back in the early days of the internet too. So I lost touch with him. And I guess if I got on Facebook, I could probably find him, but I don't know. That'd be the only reason to get on social media, is just to kind of connect with some old friends. Maybe I should do that, right? I don't know. I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't keep up. All these friend requests, people wanting to show me stuff. Hey, I tagged you on Facebook. I don't care. I'm not gonna look at that. I got one of the girls from the cast. She's the backstage manager, but she's young and hip and into all that kind of stuff. And I found out that the director gave her my number. She's been sending me the schedule every week. And I didn't know who it was. I thought it was the director. I thought the director had another phone. So I just marked it as director 2 or something, or Gail's second number. And then she said, you have been getting my text, right? I said, you haven't sent me jack squat. She went, I sent you the schedule for the whole month this week today. I went, oh, that's you? She knows I'm not on Facebook. That was really nice because they're doing Facebook. Everything you get, you have to update Facebook schedule. Check your Facebook for a change in schedule. I'm not on Facebook. So have to email me. All right, let me see. Cajuns aren't bad. There we go. Hey, make a little joke out of it. Let me see if there's a picture of them in here. Since I'm known for talking about Highlander now, Highlander, one of the stars from Highlander, Richie, actually died a month or so ago. I didn't even know this. Dude committed suicide. So that was kind of wild. Didn't know that. I never liked him on the show, to be honest. I thought Richie was annoying. But that's kind of sad. He was an acting coach. He and his wife were, which is weird because I didn't feel like he could act that well either. But so you feel free to ask me questions if you have questions. But I got something in the mail today, a board game, of course. And I'm not kidding. I should have taken a picture of it because I talked to another mailman. He said my mailman is off on medical leave or whatever, and they have a replacement coming through, and you can tell. This box looked like it was opened. It had been pushed in open. It was open. Like you could fully reach in there and grab what was in the box. Like they had someone had punched through the box and just opened it up from the inside. Just push down, open it up. That tape was torn off. And I was like, I showed my wife. I said, look at this. I didn't even open it. And this is what it looks like. The most ridiculous thing in the world. And the postal service, man. And the thing is, that package was sent like 3 weeks ago from somewhere in Illinois. 3 weeks ago. I swear my postal service is the worst ever. I try to ask politely if people will FedEx things. They don't want to because they're used to going the cheap route and everything. And I can understand that. But the U.S. Postal Service never delivers on time. One lady didn't package her stuff. We're talking about vintage board games. I like vintage board games. I bought quite a few recently. You need to package those suckers really nice. In fact, this one is estimated between $120 and $180. I didn't pay that much. I traded. And because there's 2 items that break very easily with this game because it's made of that old brittle 70s plastic, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. And so they broke. So a lot of times these 2 items broke. And if you're buying them and they're broke, usually they put tape around to fix one, or they hot glued the other one. It's a hook. So those things always break, and they always have some kind of cheap fix on them. And a complete one with those fixes is $80. So what's a complete one look like that's in perfect condition? It's got to be 120, 160, right? Or 180. I don't know. That's my estimated price. I've never seen one in perfect condition. He has one in perfect condition. And those idiots, basically sent me a busted up box. Thankfully, the game was not busted up because he did bubble wrap it. But another girl, she got me another game. Well, I won't show you yet because she's supposed to send me a replacement. And the box barely fit within the game. The board game box barely fit within the other box. Barely. So it's rattling around, getting shaken around. They throw those things, probably kick them down the road and stuff. And of course, when I got the game's not working. It's a motorized game, and the motor doesn't work. And are you sure? Did you check it? Did you put in your batteries? And I said, yes. By the way, when you ship it, put some stuff in it, lady. It's the Postal Service. And so she's sending me another base for the game. Says, this time I checked it, and it works. Okay, but if you send it like you did last time, you need to put bubble wrap around it. I mean, that could be the reason. I'm not saying it is. Oh, also, it was wet. The box comes soaking wet. I had a package come in. Not kidding. It was so wet, I could just peel off the cardboard. It was just so pathetic. Anyway, this is what we talk about on Nightcaps. Nothing too important. Hello, Jimmy Owens. But yes, that's what's been going on with me. Plus, I've been doing... have I played the board game called Risk? Maybe. I used to play Risk back in the day, a long time ago. I even had the Clone Wars Risk, but because there's better games than Risk out there for me now. I gave the Clone Wars version, which is a really cool version. I mean, they're nice minis for that game. I gave it to my little nephews who I think played with the pieces because they were a little too young back then and got it lost. What have I got here? But anyway, tonight at practice. Oh, wait a minute. Got this? Okay. What is this? Black Series Gaming Greats. What? Can I show this? Hold on. Can I, come on. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know if you can see this. Flip it up. Nope. Nope. Come on, doofus. Hold on. I can't work my own phone. Okay, someone sent me a picture of a new pre-order for Jedi Revan figures. Oh, I didn't know they made another one. It's like a gold and white version. I show you, but I can't pull up the picture for some reason because I'm stupid on my phone. Anyway, that's kind of neat. Let's see. My boss got me a complete Star Wars encyclopedia, 3-volume set for Christmas. Wish they would update it. Hey, I got that same set actually. It's right down here. It's hold on, let me move some stuff around. I'll show you. I think this is the same one. Risk is awesome. Risk is fun. Matt, this is more a joke question, but if Disney said they would make more Legends, only if you would also collect and read all their canon, would you? Oh, geez. Why would they say that? I mean, I guess I'd take one for the team, but I would hate it. You know, that'd be a ridiculous situation. It is a silly question. Look, I'm not against the new stuff. I'm not. I've never been. It's just not for me. If everyone's, it's funny because a lot of times when I talk to people for the first time, they start by apologizing because they watch the movies. I don't care. Well, man, I kind of liked Rogue One. Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you do. I love The Mandalorian. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. You know, that's fine with me. I don't mind it. Here we go. Ready? We're going for a ride. Here we go. What? Okay, here we go. Watch this. This is that 3-volume set, correct? That you have right here. Right here. Yeah. I think that's it. Whoa. Boom. There we go. Hold on, let me get it steady down there. This will make you sick, right? Okay, there we go. Have you played Star Wars The Queen's Gambit? Not only have I played it, sir, I own it. I own a copy, and I think it is fantastic. I have played, I played with Amelia from the Twin Sons Foundation, one of the board members, the only board member left that I hadn't met. And we had a great time. In fact, Amelia and I's our game was epic. Epic. Lasted like 3 hours or something. We recorded it, and it was part of the Billboard thing. You got to see us play it. She was one of my special guests. And we played it, and I'll be honest, it was a knockdown, drag-out fight, and it was so much fun. I think I won, Amelia. I think I did, but Amelia was getting close. I mean, she could have won at any minute now, and she had some really good plays at the end. But it was really awesome. Let's see. I'm back. Let me see. Where are we at here? What I think about Twin Engines of Destruction? Great comic book. I wish you would have written more. Have I not reviewed that yet? It feels like I reviewed that. If not, I'm going to review it. No, I think I've reviewed that. I don't know. Anyway, it's great. Do you know that author only wrote that comic book? He had an idea for a sequel, and it just never came out. I talk about that on a Matt chat. Someone asked me what unpublished comic book would I've loved to see, and it would have been I think it was the sequel to Twin Engines of Destruction. It was another story by that guy. He only wrote one story, and it's wild because you're thinking, oh yeah, he wrote tons of stuff. No, he only wrote that one story, and it was excellent. Best New Jedi Order novel. I'm gonna have to go with the majority and probably say Star by Star. Oh look, it's Ryan. Ryan, if you're wearing your robe, I'll let you come on. Hold on. I guess he doesn't have to wear his robe. I pick on him. Hold on. Let's see. This on. Ryan has a magnificent robe that he just hides. He's ashamed of. Kind of crazy. But there we go. Um, but anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about. Lost my mind. Anyway, Twins into Destruction. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. It's funny because every time they came up with a Boba Fett comic book, I was always like, oh, please don't screw up Boba Fett. Please don't screw up Boba Fett. Please don't do it. I didn't want them to do that many Boba Fett stories because I was afraid they were going to screw him up. And for the most part, they didn't. The only thing about the bad Boba Fett stories is they weren't that good. They were just kind of boring. That was the only bad thing about it. Do you think the ninth assassin was cool? The nth, I think, wasn't it the ninth? Oh, you said it right. Ninth assassin was cool. Getting the last issue this week. Would you want more Vader stories? I think that one was a good one. A lot of the Vader stories at the end by Dark Horse were, in my opinion, hit or miss. And they kept doing these because they knew Darth Vader would sell. And that's the honest truth. Darth Vader comics sold, so they did a ton of mini issues, just did random Darth Vader stories. And they weren't putting good stories in them, I think. But I think that one was pretty good. But every once in a while, they do a sucky one here. Hey, Matt. Possible idea for EU site. Maybe there could be a section of people's EU collections go beyond the comic book. Might be fun. Might be fun. Yeah, might be. Hold on. What's going on here? Hold on just a minute. I have my guest on here. Might be. We have a lot of interesting stuff going on. Chat about anything on Nightcap live streams? Yeah, you can chat about anything. You've been told Trader is the best. Well, let me ask this man. What is the best New Joe Order book?
Ooh, let's see. It's got to be Star by Star, doesn't it? I think that
I said so too, but he's saying some people say Trader is the best.
The one with Jaina? Or no, the one with Jason.
No, Trader was the one with Jason.
Trader's the one with Jason.
Jaina. I'll be honest, I like Dark Journey too.
Dark Journey's good.
You could convince me. I mean, I don't think there's a bad one. I do think one is not as good as the rest. Like the weakest one. Let me tell you that one. I thought the weakest one was. I thought it was Final Destiny. I think I'm thinking that was it. Like the weakest one. Isn't that the one? And spoiler alert, where no one dies.
I wish I had mine.
It was second to the last one.
The Final Prophecy? Is that the one?
I wish you kept a better care of your collection too, but that's
it's not in any order at all. It's just however many I could fit in there.
I know. I understand.
I really like Star by Star. I really like.
I do too.
I do think Trader's good too. Obviously, you see Jason go through that whole thing, but that book is just Jason.
Well, Dark Journey is just Jaina
for the most part.
Jaina's story for the most part. And the thing is, I love the Jaina story too. I mean, you could convince me a lot of things. For me, I liked some stuff in Balance Point, where Jason finally,
sacks up.
Exactly. It was something I've been waiting for like years. I was like, finally. I was so mad at him. And Vector Prime was a great way to start the series. Oh yeah, no, the end is the best. The end is the best thing about it.
Yeah, I think that personally, I've always thought that Balance Point, like the first 75% of it's awful because I'm just like Jason. You're just like screaming at him in your head. You're sick of this character. I was so sick of Jason Solo for a while, and then in the end, he turned out to be like my favorite character ever, which is crazy.
Yeah, but isn't the second to the last one the one where no one died?
I don't remember what is that.
Now I'm not saying I want death in every book, but there was a death. An EU character's death was in every book until the second to the last one. I was like, wait, no one died in this one, and I guess no one has to die in every one, but they always got you at the end or toward the middle. I can't remember which one. I'm not going to reveal the death. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was the last chapter and the last page where you thought no one had died. You're like, oh wow, we got away with that, and then at the end. They killed someone off, and you're thinking, "Oh, they just did that for cheap." No. It has ramifications, if you know what I mean, for Tenel Ka later on.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was good. We didn't need to know what was going on with them at the time. It just pans to that area and shows that, hey, that person just died. You're going, wait, what? And it leads into the next story and kind of sets up, more story arcs. So I didn't mind that at all. I didn't think it was what they call a cheap death, just to kill someone off just for the fun of it. And actually every death I'd say was meaningful.
Yeah,
I don't believe that killing anyone off.
it.
I don't think it was out of spite or just out of shock value. I don't think it. I didn't feel any of the deaths were.
I don't remember if it was a video or something where I was complaining about people complaining about Chewbacca's death and how you always see it described on all these trash websites or these people on social media or whatever that are like, LOL, I can't believe Chewie died by getting a moon dropped on him. Like, and it's like, you have no idea what happened. If you, okay, if you'd actually read it and actually experienced it, it's so much more than that. And his death is so powerful.
Yeah. Now, someone asked if I was excited about the new season. I'm not. It's not considered part of the new season. Is not considered part of the EU. It's not both canons like the first 6 were. So no, I'm not. And if people are excited for it, go for it. That's fine. Ryan, I don't know if you're going to be watching the new Clone Wars.
I am going to be, just so I can make content on it. I've been trying to rewatch the old ones. It is such a struggle. Oh my gosh. It's so hard. Like, I just skipped the first 2 seasons because I know they're trash. And now I'm on the 3rd season. It's like, oh my gosh.
If ever he focuses just on the clones, I enjoy it. But when he does, Ahsoka's annoying as all get out. And the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin is not good.
It's not different.
It's different. It's not showing that camaraderie. It's not showing them growing close together. And to be honest, I hate to sound like a broken record, but Jenny Tartovsky, in his just few minutes, was showing them in the bunker, in the rain, eating slugs, making jokes because they're miserable. Remember that? And then Anakin runs off and ends the war like that.
Well, and I actually think that he is
the battle.
I actually think that the Clone Wars books that are based around the Clone Wars TV series do a better job of the Obi-Wan Anakin relationship than the TV series does. Especially when you get to learn about how Obi-Wan knew what was going on between him and Padme and thought he had put a stop to it, and kind of how that affected their relationship and everything. I don't know. I don't like the show. I can't like it. It's just, I'm trying to get through it to rewatch it so I can get refreshed for season 7. The thing is, we know what's going to happen. If you're excited for Clone Wars, that's fine. And more power to you. If you get enjoyment out of that, that's awesome. For me, I'm not a huge fan of the show to begin with, but season 7, we already know exactly what's going to happen. The storyboards for all these stories have been released. We know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've already been released. A lot of the raw footage has already been released. A lot of the storylines have been released, and even the ones that haven't, like the entire saga of the Siege of Mandalore, we know what happens because in Disney canon there is a book called Ahsoka where she talks about literally the outcome of the Siege of Mandalore. She talks about her duel with Darth Maul and how it ends, where she did how she decided, because it bumps right up against Order 66, and she has a decision to make. Does she bounce with her and Rex, or does she finish off Maul? And she decides to bounce with her and Rex. Because of course, Ahsoka, after 3 years of being a Padawan during the Clone Wars, defeats Maul in single combat. So
of course, our own little Mary Sue.
People don't like to hear it, but it's.
I'm sure one of your friends hates to hear it.
Oh yeah,
big Ahsoka fan.
Well, me and Letha are always saying that too. So
I would love to hear a debate, a gentleman's debate on that topic. I'd love to hear him defend it.
I mean, people like her arc. She turns from an annoying brat into a slightly less annoying brat. That's what people like about it. So
does she get less annoying? She drops the Sky Guy. You're correct. Yeah. But it was just awful. It was awful. Fatal Alliance. Were you a fan of Fatal Alliance? The Old Republic novel. I can't.
That was the lesser one for me. That was the one where
it was either Annihilation or Fatal Alliance I liked the least.
Fatal Alliance takes place during the peace talks on Alderaan, where they spring a. I think they spring. No, maybe that's the seed. But anyway, it's the one with all the weird droids, the hex droids that come out near the end. That's that one. I didn't like Fatal Alliance. I liked Annihilation. Annihilation was the one with Theron Shan. You don't remember that one?
That hold on. That's I know. I just can't remember the title of the book.
Yeah, Annihilation.
That's Annihilation though?
Yeah, it's Theron Shan. This when you find out that Basil
Okay.
has a son, and you're like, what the heck?
I think then Fatal Alliance is my least favorite. Then I think you're
that's
right.
the first one that came out too.
Because Alliance would be third. Revan for me is number 2, and I love Deceived.
Deceived's great. I like Revan too.
I think it's the best one. Well, I know a lot of people hate it, but it's my second favorite. Vector Prime is Hidden Gem's favorite of that. And to be honest, Vector Prime set the precedent, and you had some great storytelling in Vector Prime, so I can see that. Spencer's reading Force Unleashed, loves it so far.
Yeah, it's better than it's a better story than the game.
Bad Batch. I mean, if it's part of 1 through 6, then yes. Bad Batch was on the season 5, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I believe they kind of run together for me, but I believe
me too. So. It's been a while since I've looked at it.
When you do have to remember that all these stories were written, all of this stuff was, well, I shouldn't say that. I'll clarify in a second, but most of the story arcs for these were written and planned out, and even some rough animation voice acting done before Disney bought Star Wars. So, some of it's just as much canon as I guess the Clone Wars ever was. But there are a couple things that are changing. For instance, Ahsoka's her little arc that she's going to have after leaving the Jedi Order, where she's like roaming around the streets of Coruscant, not being a Jedi anymore. She's supposed to meet some guy. I forget his name, but they already had shipping titles for them because it was supposed to be a romantic love interest, a young man, right? And they have changed that into two women with shaved heads and weird haircuts that are of Latino descent. So they've changed that guy into those two characters. They removed the love interest. So it's not exactly the same as it was before Disney bought Star Wars. So for people that are saying it's all the same stories, it's not affected by Disney, it's not necessarily true.
One thing real quick. You did a video, I think it was today, about the Joker speech.
Yes.
My wife was watching the Oscars. I'm sitting there listening to a book. I see Joker won, so I'm unplugging my earbuds to listen to it. And I hear a speech, and I went, well, Ryan will tell me about it tomorrow. And I plugged it back in and went, I knew you were going to make a video on it. I was like, You know what? I don't have time for this. Ryan will tell me tomorrow what he said.
Yeah, I got a lot of dislikes on that because, when it's stuff like that, it's so much not my audience. It's not my subscribers. So go ahead.
We're sucking cow milk out for our coffee.
Yeah, it was so cringe. And then I went on a stream with Jeremy. and grabbed a whole gallon of milk and just started chugging it throughout the stream. It just was dumb, but
that was dumb.
I had
He's a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo.
But at least, and I said this during my video, at least I wholeheartedly believe that he believes all the stuff he's saying. It is not some type of...
I agree with that. I agree. He's a man of conviction.
Yeah, it's not some type of he's trying to do it for points or anything like that. He definitely walks the walk and talks the talk. I agree. I just don't want to be told what horrible people we are because I like to drink 2% milk with my cornflakes or something. It's so silly to compare that to some other atrocities that have happened in the world.
I swear that's what I did. I was listening. I was like, screw it. I want to go back to my audio book. Ryan will tell me in the morning.
Yeah. And, when those things happen, because all that stuff was trending, I got it out really quick. And so I think 70 to 75% of my views were just off searches. And so it's not my audience coming in. So they're just searching for Joaquin Phoenix because they wanted to hear, they liked what he said. And then they come and they see me and they're like, dislike.
I'm just so glad Mary didn't copy you with the video the next day.
That's been known to happen.
Y'all are on the same page, man. Same page.
Known to happen before.
Okay, so Joey, I want to answer this question. I don't remember Senate Crisis, but I do remember Rookies. I do think that was good. I believe I know what you're talking about when you say landing at Point Rain. And I believe if it has to deal with just the clones, Joey, I agree with you. Because whenever I saw just clone episodes, I thought they were good episodes. Look at this one. His most underrated was the Zygerran slaver bit. I can't believe that was ripped off by George Lucas because he read the comic book Clone Wars and it happened. And he loved that story so much. He told Filoni, said, "Hey, do that story." But it's the same story. They just changed up the planet and the some of the characters. That was a weird episode though, because I was like, wait a minute, didn't I already see this? And I'd forgotten that it'd come out in the comic book, and that's why it was so familiar to me.
I think that, I'm sure he was like, Dave, make this, and he's like, yes, boss, right away.
Yeah.
So I was watching it behind the scenes from, I think, the episode where Ahsoka leaves. I forget what it's called. When she leaves the Jedi Order. And I heard Filoni talking, and he was like, it's no secret that I've always been firmly in the Ahsoka lives camp, and George has been firmly in the Ahsoka dies
camp. Yeah.
When it comes to Order 66. And what happens as soon as Dave Filoni gets complete control, Ahsoka lives.
Oh yeah, of course she does. Joey, he got all 4 books. Just started with the series of Fatal Alliance. Should have started elsewhere. No. Read that, because now, in my opinion, and Ryan's opinion too, I think this will get better for you. So if it was me, finish Fatal Alliance, read Allegiance. Is it Allegiance? No, it's not Allegiance. What's it called? Alliance. No, what's it called? Goodness gracious, we were just talking about it. My brain is.
So the way that they were released, I believe, was Fatal Alliance, Deceived, Revan, and Annihilation. But the chronological order is Revan, Deceived, Fatal Alliance, and
Annihilation.
Okay,
but here's what I'm saying. I don't think it matters if you read it out of order, because it didn't come out publication in that order. So to be honest, I would read it from worst to best, like you're doing right now. Because if you enjoy Fatal Alliance, I think you'll like Annihilation more. If you enjoyed Annihilation, I think you're going to like Revan more. If you love Revan, you're going to absolutely love Deceived. I would kind of read it like that. This is kind of a cool theory here. Okay, Brady said Bad Batch is one of the unfinished episodes. I don't remember it. If it had to do with clones, I probably liked it. If it had to do with Anakin and Obi-Wan or Ahsoka, I probably didn't. I mean, I was upset. Remember when Ahsoka, there's a war on that planet, she falls in love with a boy and decides to leave Obi-Wan, give up the order, and follow his crusade? That was straight ripped off out of Jude Watson's Melinda Dan book that came out years before that series. And I was so mad. I said, wait a minute. They're doing the Melinda Dan story, or Dawn story, however you pronounce it, from Jude Watson's Jedi Apprentice. I was like, this is ridiculous. Is there no decency?
I'm looking at the way Joey phrased it. He's like, I recently watched your ranking EU authors video. Why do you hate Karen Traviss so much?
Oh, wait, hold on. I haven't gotten down there yet.
Sorry.
It's so slow here. I'm trying to mention 3-page in Fatal Alliance. Not losing much if I start over. No, I finished Fatal Alliance. Percentage quality, it's a pretty bad book. Overwrote some stuff again. Why do you hate Karen Traviss so much? Okay, here. That's a good question, Joey. Why do I hate Kevin Traviss so much? You're new. It's okay. There's a joke. Okay, so back in the day, Karen Traviss was on the message board way back in the day, and I didn't like her Jedi falling in love with a clone and then having a baby. That just felt too much like fan fiction for me, and I thought it was awful. And people kept praising her. And I know it's over her Mandalore stuff and stuff like that, and they loved what she was doing. And yes, she was writing some good stuff, but I could not get over that. I was like, a Jedi would never do that, and then have a love baby. And I was like, no, it reads like fan fiction. And so I just went out and just complained. I said, guys, I don't think she's all that in a bag of chips. Now, to be honest, I was a little mad because people downed my favorite author, Kevin J. Anderson, back in the day. And so I was like, okay, well, since we can trash authors, here I go. Well, Karen Traviss got on there, like she always does. And the Taliban were big back then. They were the threat. So she called us Tally fans, because all we wanted to do is just rant and rail about her book. And she said, another Tally fan. I was like, who are you? What? And so
just a bunch of people that are angry about Star Wars.
Yeah, a bunch of people
like
that
the
was
cycle repeats.
It was we were called the Army of the Republic Menace. It was really weird.
And then you've got, a couple years later, expanded universe community is part of this jihad, again, a spoiler jihad. There's some terrorist link there, it seems like.
I know, for real. They always have to link it to terrorists. But that's why.
Good thing that the old guard of the EU's, we're getting rid of those people. Old guard is done. Their leadership has failed. So
so good. But the thing is, though, I'm in the minority on that. I'll be honest with you, because there's a ton of people that love Karen Travis's books. In fact, when I did the reviews, I was actually scared. I said, you know what? People are going to kill me. People are going to kill me when they see that I don't like these. And I was surprised by the overwhelming response in my favor that they agreed with me. Even though there are some people that say, well, I still like her. And that's totally fine, because you were in the majority, in my opinion. Because it seemed like back in the day, everyone... In fact, I know a lot of people, when they rank their favorite Star Wars books, or back then they did, that the Republic Commando series was in a lot of people's top 5.
Well, I think that a lot of people absolutely love the way that she developed the clones and developed like Mandalorian culture.
And there were some good things with that. Exactly. I agree.
But
I can't get...
You can't take that away from her, and especially in comparison to the Filoni Mandalorians that we ended up getting in Clone Wars. So then so many people can look back at what she did and be like, oh, this is so much better.
I haven't been tempted, X-Ray, to play any of the video games just because I don't play them. I tried to play KOTOR a long time ago, but it was all... I never played it back in the day, and that's when I should have, because now the graphics aren't that kind. And so I just wasn't impressed. But I don't play many video games. Video games don't impress me anymore.
He's bad at video games.
Unless it's Ryan yelling at Mary about Minesweeper, and Minecraft. Let's see. Look, Minesweeper's the one with the bombs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I'm so far removed from it. The last video game I played was Arkham Origins. And I thought Rocksteady did an okay job, but they were just lazy because they never fixed the glitches in that game.
Yeah, it was all right.
Okay, to be honest, it's going to be the first one, I think.
Yep, I think that's
the best one. That is the best one. The other ones were good. They were good. They were fine. But the first one, to me, was just awesome. And you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think that the second one suffers a little. We actually just did this for Expanded Universe Book Club not too long ago.
I remember that.
The second one suffers, simply because of the time crunch. Because they told, all of a sudden, Drew Carpenter, they're like, hey, can you get this done in a couple months? We need to move Plagueis back. And he's like, I guess. So that first one is so masterful, and it's one of the best books in the EU, hands down. The second one had to deal with a little bit of a time crunch. So I think that the plot on the second one is actually it's probably my least favorite. It's still good. It's still good,
but I probably would agree with that.
Yeah,
I probably would agree with that. And the third one followed through. I think I do agree with that, actually. I think the second one, and not to say it's the weakest, it's just my least favorite of the 3.
Yeah, it's the weakest of a great trilogy.
Even
Zahn's trilogy, there has to be one that's...
alone, the Rule of Two is a pretty strong book. But in the trilogy, it is the weakest of the trilogy. Yes, we did know that TCW had a Vong, or potentially had an idea for a Vong episode. Would have been interesting to see. Bad Batch was the episode about Jeanette. So what?
There's a rumor about them bringing the Vong into a new Rebels show. So
I would be surprised, because the Vong are not popular with Star Wars fans in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be surprising. But anyway, Bad Batch was about an episode about genetically altered clones. I seem to remember that. Yep. If so, I may have liked it. Shoot. Goodness gracious. I don't know. Anything with Ahsoka?
The one
movie?
I got it. No, it's the one where they're trying to bring a cake back or something. Like,
for Padme's party. And then Cad Bane lays out the perfect... It's the Rocky Bullwinkle episode of the series. Yeah. It creates a droid beauty store. The whole thing was to trap R2-D2 and C-3PO to come in. I was like, what is going on here? And Cad Bane was a cool character, by the way. I was a Cad Bane fan, and then they do something stupid like that. I was like, don't do this. I would agree with you on that one. That was a dumb one.
Or the Gungan
Jedi Jar Jar.
The Gungan General. That was a pretty bad one. Or the Gungan Jedi, whatever it was.
It was the Gungan Jedi. It was the Gungan where Jar Jar. Everyone thinks he's a Jedi. Oh. Okay, here we go. where in the post-return era shall I read Young Jedi Knights after the Thrawn duel? No. After Survivor's Quest, right?
Well,
After the last Bantam novel.
I guess I would make sure you read the Jedi Academy trilogy, and then I guess maybe Survivor's Quest. I kind of forget where that falls in. I always forget about that one.
It comes, if you want to know chronologically, I mean, it comes before, Survivor's Quest, book-wise. So there you go. Let's see. Whoa. Lost everything.
Wow. Go. This is hidden.
Let's see.
I just put out another video, Matt, about Birds of Prey. Are you gonna go see that at all, or have you seen it?
No, I wasn't gonna see that to begin with. Shoot. And here's the thing. I cheer for DC. I really do. I just can't. That looked like garbage. I hated Suicide. I didn't want to see Suicide Squad, for crying out loud. When it came out, it looked like garbage.
So the reason I just did a video and I released it earlier in my normal time is because they just changed the name of the film while it is in theaters. It was originally 5 days in theaters, 6 days in theaters, whatever it is. They changed the name. It was Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Now it's called Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. And they've changed it. All the ticketing apps, everything. I don't know if they're going to come out with new posters. That seems excessive and it's too late in the game. But it's because no one even understands that it's a Harley Quinn movie. And they feel like maybe that no one understood that. It's a mess, man.
Wow, what a total mess up. Would it be interesting? Old Republic theme park.
Yes. How about a Star Wars theme park that's not just set at one planet at one point in time in the sequel trilogy? How about that? How about a theme park where you could go to Tatooine and do a pod racing ride, and then you could go to Geonosis and do some kind of battle. Be it you do the clones in that battle against the droids. Go to Mustafar, then go to. I don't know if you go to Tatooine. You could go to Yavin 4, get prepared for the first Death Star run. Then you could go to
That'd be awesome.
Then you could go to, I guess you could go to Endor, even though you just did kind of a jungle planet with Yavin. But, you could do this. And then you could involve the sequel trilogy because that is Star Wars, according to Disney. So you could have that there too. And then have the entire thing based on Coruscant. How amazing would that have been? Like, they just don't understand.
And I know Bob Iger watches my channel, so Bob, make this happen. Put Ryan in charge of your theme park, and if he builds it, they will come.
Yeah, and more than just what they have, and they have one ride that can only they have one ride that can only do like a couple hundred people a day because it takes so long and it breaks down all the time.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's making big news about it all breaking down. That's embarrassing too, because you don't want your new ride to be known as the one that's always breaking down.
Yeah. But yeah, so I had to put out a video about that like right away because I thought that was crazy. Watching the Birds of Prey movie was really good, Mike. Oh, if you liked it, hey, that's awesome, man. So one of the things everybody was talking about, it's going to be so woke and all this stuff. It wasn't. There was definitely some messaging and stuff, but for the most part, I just thought it was a bad movie, to be perfectly honest, and especially a bad comic book movie because it was so not. It wasn't the characters. Cassandra Cain, if you know who Cassandra Cain is, the daughter of Lady Shiva, the one who doesn't even really talk in complete sentences because the only language she knew was violence. She is an absolute joke in this movie.
Really?
And there's just so many characters that aren't themselves. And listen, you can have interpretations of stuff. That's fine. But this was so beyond anything that I couldn't get into it. I really disliked it.
I feel the same way, Joey, about the fate of the Jedi putting Abeloth back into the Morse art from Clone Wars. That was done last. They didn't know where Abeloth was going to come from until the Clone Wars episode aired, and they said let's tie it together. And at first I was like, don't do that. That episode sucked. But then I accepted it, and to be honest, the best thing about that episode was something we never found out, right? About Abeloth.
Right.
There you go. Matthew, check your email. Birds of Prey looks like Matt's latest cereal. Geeks at that's big inside joke. I sent him a picture Sunday morning. I had my first bowl of Hershey Kiss cereal, which we made a joke. It looks like the little poop emojis. Don't make a cereal that looks like the poop emojis because there's Hershey Kisses, but they look like the poop emojis. And so the whole thing looks like a bunch of poop emojis that you're eating. And it tastes all right. I mean, it tastes chocolatey. You just got to close your eyes. It kind of looks like dog food in a way.
We'll see if I got to get going soon, but I'll see if Matthew can come on first because I don't want anyone thinking I ran away from my enemy, Matthew, of the Geeks Addict.
Oh, that's right. Y'all have a rivalry. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I hope we can close this gap in the next more civilized age.
I hope so.
I hope so. I don't know. He may not come on knowing that you're here, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got about 5 minutes I can wait for him.
Oh, man. So, anyway, how is your Release the Snyder to cut coming along?
We've got this big competition that's going on. It ends on Valentine's Day for Zack Snyder's doing this thing, and they're doing a bunch of money for charity and giveaways to all these people that win poster designs, songs, tribute art, things like that. There's also a lot of speculation that we might get some kind of big announcement on Valentine's Day because 2:14 is an important number for the Snyder Cut because it is 2 hours and 14 minutes long, which is 3 hours and 34 minutes, which is a hell of a long movie. But I think that I think we're gonna see it soon, maybe on HBO Max. I would love that, but I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm hoping.
Okay. All right. We have another one here by RJ. What's your opinions on Dark Empire trilogy? I'm about to review it in the next month, either this week or not this week, either this month or next month. So I'll save it till then, but I'll let Ryan answer the question.
It's not my favorite. There's some really cool things about it. I actually think the fact that, listen, I don't really like them. I don't really like the fact that they bring Palpatine back. Just be honest.
But I didn't know this.
I do like the idea of Luke getting to face Palpatine. To be honest with you, because he didn't. I mean, he never faced Palpatine. He threw his lightsaber down and allowed himself to be attacked. So he did not turn to the dark side. But the idea that we get a Luke Skywalker who actually gets to face Palpatine, a relatively full strength Palpatine, a younger Palpatine, I think is so intriguing. And for Luke Skywalker who has gone further down his path of becoming a Jedi to kind of test his skill, because he just doesn't know. That's so many of the cool things about Luke Skywalker, which, when you look at the Disney trilogy, they decided to make him just a failure. He does have failings in the expanded universe, but he never gives up. But he is constantly questioning himself and if he's doing the right thing, if he's training the right way. And you get to see in Dark Empire him finally go toe-to-toe with Palpatine, which I think is really cool.
Oh, there it is. Excuses. He's got to save face, but yeah. He's not coming. I knew he wouldn't because secretly he hates you. Okay, so RJ wants to know your opinions on Crimson Empire trilogy. Since you're hating on Dark Empire, do you hate Crimson Empire as well, Ryan? Look, really. RJ, you bore Ryan with your question, sir.
Not really. Well, it doesn't. I don't hate it or anything. I like Crimson Empire trilogy fine. The Legacy comics, however, are my jam. I love Cade Skywalker. I love the Fell Empire. I love the Imperial Knights. I love Darth Krayt. I love so much about the Legacy comics.
So when you heard about that coming out, you were excited to read about Legacy, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
See, I was not. I was like, that's the dumbest thing that Dark Horse has ever thought. I said 100. It was like 100 and what something years. I was like 130 years. Who cares? I remember saying that. I got issue 0, the preview one that kind of sets up the universe for you. I was reading it and I was like, boring. And I was wrong. It's a good series, but I was always against them going way in the past or way in the future. I was like, who cares about that? I said the same thing with Tales of the Jedi. Couldn't have been more wrong. But I was just a humbug, and I just wanted to see the main 3. That's all I cared about. I hated when Del Rey started doing prequel books. I thought it was a waste of time, even though I liked some of those. But every time they came out with a prequel book, I mean, I knew that was one New Jedi Order book or Fate of the Jedi book or something that we weren't going to see. And I was like, give me the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it, and it still left enough time in between that you had so many questions, about what actually happened. But Matt, I do need to get going since
Right.
Matthew isn't going to show his face.
No, he's a coward.
No, Matthew's awesome. It's not a real feud before anybody takes it seriously.
I think it's a real.
Well, you never know. But thanks for having me on, Matt.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for
always.
visiting.
Oh, whenever I can, I always want to. So
I appreciate that. Thanks for thinking about the little guy every once in a while.
Got a reputation to uphold. So
that's right. That's right. On. All right. Have a good one. Have a good evening.
Right. See you, buddy.
My thoughts on Dala. I love her story arc. I think she's a fantastic character. Thought I heard a little girl. Hold up. Guess not. Thought I heard one. Anyway, love Dala. Love Dala's story arc. Think she's fantastic. What are my thoughts on Birds of Prey? I have zero interest to go see it. I have zero interest. I hated Suicide Squad. Despised Suicide Squad. Why would I go see Harley Quinn in another movie like that? I just don't like it. I wish DC was better. I wish they were, because I'm a huge DC fan. And even the best DC movie is not good for me. What's the best DC I've seen? Was it Aquaman? Maybe. But even Aquaman is subpar. I think Aquaman was my favorite, but Aquaman was way too long. Black Manta was awesome. They could have just kept him, but they had to bring in, Ocean Master? Can't remember his name. And I thought he was too generic and kind of hokey. Of course, most of his rogues are, but I thought that if they had just kept Black Manta in that storyline, you just need one villain. Why get two? And that movie was way too long. But it was still probably the best they've had, personally speaking. Just 1 second. All right. Sorry. Checking on my little girl. Where is that? Okay. Get that. There we go. Stop that. There we go. Sorry. Had to get back to there. All right, here we go. What I miss? Seth, I disagree. I would like to hear your thoughts why you thought it was just thrown in there. Because the thing is, she always rises to a better position, yet she gets knocked down and she rises more. So it kind of makes sense that she keeps rising up, but she fails even on a more epic level when she's there. But she always learns from her mistakes and builds up. I don't know. I don't feel that way. I'm interested to hear, and I'm trying to send you an invite, and for some reason, how do I not have, I can't find your email address. I'm stupid. Oh, this is dumb. Just look it up, right? Hold on. It's on here somewhere. There it is. Just a second. Oh, there it is. Bring you on here. You can talk about it with me. I'd love to hear it. All right. In my opinion, yes. Yes, I think he was great. Wait, what? I'm not seeing Birds of Prey because they pulled a Dukes of Hazzard 2005 with the characters. My wife hates that new movie. Which super... Oh, Michael, I can't pull it. Whoa. How'd that one pop up? All right, hold on. I'll get there. Which superhero movie is my favorite female hero? Features my favorite female hero. That's a great question. Is there a female hero I love? I don't know. Let me think about that. That's a great question, Michael. I hope so, X-Ray, but I don't think so. Huh. The last one, and I told my wife, I can't think of her name now. I can't think of her name for the life of me. She was in the Amazing Spider-Man series. She was Gwen Stacy. And I thought, oh, she's cute. But then I kept forgetting. Because I said, because my wife goes, you don't like any of the late actresses in Hollywood? I said, nah, they're jokes. And I was like, well, she's cute. Maybe her. That'll be my crush. But the thing is, though, I kept forgetting her name, and I still don't know her name. So obviously, I'm not that too impressed. And I don't go see movies with her in them, you know. So I still can't remember her name. It's not coming to me. Yeah, a lot of those, a lot of the new women. I know who's the girl that I just hate her face. What is that girl? She was Mystique in the new X-Men. I can't stand that girl. I just can't stand her face. And everyone was like, ooh, she's so cute and hot. And I was like, she's just so, ugh. I can't remember her name either. I'm not good at actresses' names. I used to like Padme, Natalie Portman back in the day. And Cameron Diaz, but only in The Mask. Oh, my favorite superhero is Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. That's odd. Can I say that? It was, though. I used to love Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. I thought she's so beautiful. She's still beautiful today. It's, what, 60, 70? Where's my calendar? Oh, that's it. It's Emma Stone. Obviously, I don't even know what else she's been in. I don't follow her. She doesn't drag me to the theaters. In fact, very few. The people who I always watch, or I try to, Val Kilmer's movies, even though he doesn't do any good stuff anymore. I still watch Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise will bring me to the theater. So I like Tom Cruise. That's someone I'll see. Me and my brother are big Tom Cruise fans. Edward Norton, though he doesn't do much, and he did Motherless Brooklyn, which wasn't that good. But I watched it because it has Ed Norton. Anything with Ed Norton, I'm gonna give a shot on. Thankfully, he's pissed off half of Hollywood, so he's not in that many movies anymore. Is there another? Jackie Chan used to back in the day, but now he doesn't do much action. He's older, but Jackie Chan movies back in the day, I'd go see them all, and I'd try to get everything I could rent out at Blockbuster back in the day. Those were the authors that kind of hooked me in. Oh, yeah, there it is. Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, just down there. Oh, she's awful. There's a few there's a few actresses that are like, oh, her. And I'm like, no. Who else I liked back in the day? Gina Gershon. No one knows who that is. I think she dated Owen Wilson for a short time. And she was the bad guy's girlfriend in Face Off. I remember that's the first time I saw her. And then she was in Driven with Sylvester Stallone, the awful racing movie. But I never went to the theaters to see her, but because you never knew when she'd pop up. She was never a big star. But whenever she would pop up, I'm like, ooh, it's the girl from Face Off. I always thought she was really good looking back in the day. Edward Norton fan. You should watch Birdman. Yeah, I enjoyed Birdman. I like Michael Keaton too. I'll be honest. I like Michael Keaton. I don't always go to Michael Keaton movies, but I think he's good, and I'd watch him. Michael Keaton's a lot of fun. Oh man, I don't know. Best Vader comic books, in my opinion. I don't know. Like I said, they made some good ones. They made some bad ones. When I was reviewing them, back in the day, I had to reread to remind myself it was one I hated or loved, because by name alone, I didn't know. I didn't know if it was good or not, because they came out with so many. And you'd think there'd be one that would clearly stand out, but and maybe there is if I go back through and look them all over again. But just off the top of my head, I can't tell. There was the Ghost Prison, there was whatever Purge, which was a good idea, but I think they could have done it better. Vader's Quest, which is early, not really that good, but okay. There's the Nth Assassin, which was kind of neat, but I just don't know. What was the one that stood out and shone? No, not off the top of my head, but they did have good story arcs. Purge comics, what you'd want to say, and Purge was a great idea. In fact, I thought they should have done an ongoing Purge series, because just in that first one, he just fights the Dark Woman, right? Or was that in the Tales? That may have been Tales. But it was an interesting idea. I would have loved to seen more Jedi Purge stories, but we just didn't see that many. Ghost Prison was a great one. I just can't remember. I remember the titles, but I had to go back and look back through and what the story was. I mean, I think I remember liking that one too. Here we go. Should I even answer this for a guy who welches on making a calendar? Teases fans with the calendar. Guilty pleasure Star Wars comic. Can I guess one of the Tales ones? I mean, I guess so, but like I just told with Ryan, I was just like totally blown away by how I refused to see. In fact, I think I had jumped in Tales of the Jedi after the second story arc, the 2-part Freedom Nad Uprising. I had not read Tales of the Jedi until the 3rd story arc was coming out. I read the first. Bruce, the guy from Prince of the Universe, made me read that first short series. I was like, oh, I don't want to read it. He said, dude, you got to read it. It's really good. And I read it and I was like, that was pretty good. And he said, hey, they made another one. And it was Freedom Nad Uprising. Read that one, loved it. And then I started collecting all the comic books and then got the other ones back then. And it was just great. One thing that is also great is Seth Saunders. Hello, sir. Howdy.
Hello.
Hey. Hey, folks, you need to check out Seth. He's doing a lot of great posts on there. I get a lot of compliments on your post, your RPG, Role-Playing the Galaxy.
You get compliments?
I get, well, I hear good things. They said, oh, I like that on the site, man. I was like, good.
Oh. Okay, so, that's
regular contributor. And I think it's fun. So it was a good idea, and I'm glad to have you on as a contributor.
No, I'm having a lot of fun writing those.
And they're fun. They're fun. If you're thinking about starting an RPG or you want ideas or suggestions about RPGs, Seth is your man. Seth is your man. Please go check out his articles. I think we have them grouped under one column too by author. And definitely check it out because he's written some solid stuff. And I'll even go one step further. If you have a topic for RPGs that you want him to address right now, put it in the comments. I'm going to challenge him. He's going to have to take notes now. So I'm putting him on the spot. He doesn't have to answer it, but he will have to write an article about it. Okay? Are you up for the challenge, sir?
I will write something, whether or not it will be satisfactory.
He's like, what? Thanks, Matt. They're going to give me crappy ideas, and I'm going to have to write about it because you said so. All right. Got to be honest. Hold on. Marvel comic books are the best Disney Star Wars has produced. Vader 6 when Boba Fett caused it. Okay. I don't know it, but I'll take your word for it. Do you read the new stuff, Seth?
I have read Tarkin, which I actually liked. What else there? Dark Disciple, which was fine, but I thought the story was told better for Quinlan Voss and Ventress.
Well, you know, John Ostrander said that's not my Quinlan Voss.
Yeah, it was told better in the comics. And I read one of the Bloodline by Claudia Gray. And the frustrating thing was I think Claudia Gray is actually a really good writer, but I was reading this book like, okay, because this was my last ditch attempt to try to get into the new stuff at all, and it was people were like, oh no, this will give you insight into The Last Jedi because it came out before The Last Jedi came out, and it has no bearing on what happens in The Last Jedi. It's completely disconnected.
Of course not. Bruce loves the Claudia Gray stuff. I think that's some of his favorite stuff there.
No, she's good. It's just it doesn't affect the story. So,
from what I read, the issue of Juba Will. Oh yeah, that's probably a good one. All right, so I don't know if I may. Wait. Sorry, I clicked something. I get 17 things. Best RPG system for newbies to get into. I don't know if that's an idea for a topic or a question you can just answer now.
Probably just answer now.
Yeah, I think so. Just answer that one now.
Yeah, there are some really good like one-page RPGs. Like literally all of the rules can fit in a page or less. And these are things like lasers and feelings, roll for shoes. Basically systems that aren't really built around what sort of cool gear you have or how many hit points you have. They're just about I'll make a random character and roll some dice, and we'll have fun for an evening or two.
That's great. Now this is interesting. I don't know if are you familiar with Lords of the Expanse from West End Games? Do you have that one? That's a pretty expensive one to get, I think.
I might be able to finagle a PDF of that, but I would have to do research before.
Yeah. That one would require a lot of research, 8080. But I mean, that would be neat to analyze each RPG, but that takes a lot of research too. But I think Lords of the Expanse, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the harder ones for me to track down. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while, but let me see. Let's think about it. I cannot believe, Callum, are you serious that Hiromi are some of your favorite species? That cracks me up, man. The beetles with the berets, if you remember that.
Right.
Now, this may be an interesting topic. How you deal with people who don't know much about the EU but want to make an RPG that's consistent with the story?
Wikipedia, I would say, is probably a really good resource for just getting the cliff notes so that you're trying to stay consistent within the overall narrative.
Am I really? How close am I? Hold on.
I was just looking at that. It's 4.97, I think. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 200 or 300 more.
Oh, then what are you people waiting for? Subscribe. Get on your parents' account and subscribe. I didn't know that. I have not kept up with it. I know I was at 4.2, not 2. Well, I've grown a lot. I know that. I just didn't. Let's get the exact count here. Wow. That's interesting. Oh, yeah. I'm only 22 away. That's kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks, Callum. I didn't even realize that. Oh, my. I have nothing planned for 5,000. I got to come up with some ideas now. That's interesting. Well, thank you. I have another thing. Oh, wait. Hey, okay. So I got to go help the missus real quick. I'm going to put Seth on and have him.
On purpose?
No. Are you running an RPG game right now?
I am currently running that game.
Okay. Give people a synopsis of what that is. I'll be right back.
Okay. Where'd the chat go? Oh, I guess I'll just talk. I'm running 2 games currently, possibly a third imminently. One of them being a Star Wars RPG that is set in the Yuzhen Vong War. So that's been interesting, but we actually have barely touched the war itself. It's been playing a lot of the stuff that I just kind of inserted around things, and the players have just been interacting with that. I think they have faced off with the Yuzhen Vong once, and basically that was just to say, hello, we're going to retreat now, and they just took off. The second one I'm running, you probably don't care as much about because it's not Star Wars, but I actually have a podcast RPG that I run with some friends, which is honestly just for fun. But we just use it as an excuse to play through all of the other systems we would never get a chance to go through. And it works for that. But some people listen to it and enjoy it. So, thinking about starting another one. The podcast one is actually currently in Legend of the Five Rings, if you care.
You know what, 8080? I would love to see that. Honestly, put something together and submit it. Put something together and submit it. I'd love to hear about it. I remember reading it, but to be honest, you've read it a lot, obviously. I remember it being an interesting storyline because I do enjoy West End Games as stories, but that'd be interesting. I'd love to hear it. Okay, what was my next one here?
Was there another RPG question I missed?
I didn't see one, but I was looking back over it now. I have a question though, Seth.
Yeah.
Favorite pizza?
Honestly, forget. Wait, no, sizzle pie. Anyway, they have like this. It's like I think it's a cashew pesto sauce, and then like all sorts of mushrooms. And
It's called what? Sizzle pie?
sizzle pie is the place. I forget the name of the.
Oh,
the
okay.
pizza.
That is wild. I didn't think you'd be saying. Oh wow, sizzle pie. That's what the place. That's what the name of the place is.
Yeah.
I'm not that classy. We don't have any. I mean, we have a pizza place. It's supposed to be pizza, but I don't think their pizza's that good. We have in Louisiana. There's a chain called Johnny's Pizza. It's okay. It's pretty good pizza. Everyone in Louisiana grew up eating it, and they think it's the best pizza in the world. And they will not eat pizza if it's not at Johnny's. I'm not kidding. And I can kind of get that because if you're used to eating one type of pizza, then that's how you think pizza should taste.
I think
I used to be
in college. Yeah.
So say what?
I think I had Johnny's in college, and it's like I feel like that was the one that all the other college students were talking about. Oh, it's gotta be Johnny's if we're gonna get pizza, and it was like, meh, it's fine.
It's fine. It's okay. It's not that good. But Sam's Club Pizza. Me and my wife ate that. Oh, what was it, last year? And I hadn't eaten it for a while. We went shopping there. So, well, let's get some pizza while we're here. So we got a slice of pizza, and I was eating. I was like, I gotta be honest, this is really good pizza. And we kept eating. I said, I gotta be honest, I think this may be my favorite pizza. I was like, this is so good. Something about the dough and everything. And then I had Domino's not too long ago, and Domino's is pretty good. I just never think about Domino's when I get pizza. And when I get pizza, it's very rare now. I'll just do it when I'm going out with some friends, and we'll hit the buffet, at one of the buffet places. Not Pizza Hut, but probably Johnny's. So, but I hate pineapple and pepperoni. I hate Hawaiian pizza. I think that's an abomination. Fruit should not belong on a pizza. That I am adamant about. And I don't think a cheese pizza counts as a pizza either.
I'll be that guy and point out that tomato is a fruit, and I like tomato on pizza. So.
Oh. You would be that guy.
I'm that guy. I'm sorry. Okay. X-Ray 1281 is asking, out of all the Star Wars RPGs there are, which one runs closest to how Dungeons and Dragons is played? And that one would be the Wizards of the Coast. They actually were for a time running Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars games, and they were very similar. And yeah, that system is the D20 system, and if you play D&D, it'll feel very familiar.
Oh, Callum, you're an awful person. Oh, wait. I've missed some. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. What's your opinion on the worst comic book between Batman and Robin, Batman vs. Superman, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3? A worst movie? Oh, that is a hard one. The only thing fun about 3 is that's the one they go back in time. There's only one funny scene, and that's when. Have you seen Turtles in Time, the third one?
I have not.
Okay, don't. But anyway, so he's walking by the villain. The villain, they go back in time to the cowboy days. He's got his black cowboy hat on. And the man, they pass each other without kind of glance at each other. Then they do the whole double take. And the bad guy lifts his hand and goes, "Demon?" And then I think it's Michelangelo lifts his hand and goes, "Clint Eastwood?" That's funny. I enjoyed it. Other than that, no, it sucked. But I would still pick that. Did you know in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Casey Jones from the first movie made a guest star appearance? And I think April Jones was supposed to be given another role to come back since they recast her for the second movie, but she didn't do it. So Batman and Robin is horrible. Is there any redeeming quality about Batman and Robin? My brother would say Uma Thurman is Poison Ivy, but I don't know if I was that big of a fan of Uma Thurman. Batman versus Superman. The only redeeming thing is Ben Affleck was a pretty good Batman, but the storyline sucked. But Batman does get beat up, and I do love that. So I guess Batman and Robin would win as the worst movie. Someone paid for my ticket. I knew it was going to suck. He said, "Matt, you're the biggest Batman fan. Let me pay for your ticket." I was like, okay. I said, but it looks terrible. And we watched. I was like, I still feel like I wasted my time and money. I know I wasted my time, but I felt like I wasted someone else's money. So there you go. That's a great question. Oops. Oh, all right. I heard someone say you guys.
I'm also the guy who feels like there are redeeming qualities in the Batman v Superman longer cut. It is a better movie. But
I will never. I can't.
that's fair.
But I do think Ben Affleck did a good job. Meat Lovers Pizza. Always like me some Meat Lovers. You like Megan Fox? No, I don't know. I mean, Transformers. She was the Vavavoom, girl. She was in Jonah Hex, oddly enough, which I was super excited about because I was a big Jonah Hex comic book fan. I was shocked that he got his own movie, and it wasn't that good, but she was in it, and I appreciated it. But I hear she's a little snot, a little stuck up person, and so the attitude that comes with it, just I was like, nah.
Honestly, the main thing I remember about Jonah Hex was watching it and then just abruptly being done. It's like, wait, that was it? Because it was like an hour long or something like that.
I don't get this one.
Right.
What? Being forced?
Because that was when you had said, oh, I need to get him in here.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I get it now. I didn't know what you meant there for a minute. Okay, so why do you feel that was a forced one?
I personally just remember getting to the end of Legacy of the Force, and it felt kind of abrupt and unearned that it was like, okay, now she's GA Chief of State. I feel like they just did that to, manufacture more conflict. It worked well enough, but
Well, true on that. But the thing is, though, with Dala, she always... Every time she fails, she comes back at a higher position. Remember, at first she's just in the mall installation in charge of 3 Star Destroyers, 2 of which she totally gets destroyed. So she's terrible. Well, then what happens? Well, then she's up as one of the highest generals or highest admirals in the Empire, and they trust her again, and she fails. But then she wipes out the entire council, and then she rules the Empire.
That was pretty baller.
And then she fails again. And then now, here she goes. They've thrown in the towel, and now she's with the Republic. And now they vote her in the chief of state. And you're like, no way. And then she fails on epic proportions. She makes the most bone. And the thing is, though, she learns again. So next time, what happens? Is she queen of the universe? I don't know. But I love her character because she always fails, but she always learns, and she always moves up in position where she can fail bigger. Now, that may be a joke, but I think that's almost a little bit real life. She always makes a mistake and always learns from it.
Yeah.
By the way, Adam, go ahead.
She strikes me as the kind of tabletop player where she's playing a game and she sees she's just going to lose, and then she just decides, like, she's not going to get up and flip the table. She's going to get up and shoot you in the head because she was losing.
By the way, Adam, check your email. Wise man have saying, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for last pizza. I love those movies. Those are some. The first one's the best one. The second one is okay, but the third one's just garbage. Yeah, I'm a big Jonah Hex fan.
Dance with Vanilla Ice?
Say what?
Is that the second one where they dance with Vanilla Ice?
That's in the second one. Second one has its moments. There's another one in the second. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the second one I like, but there's one where he's for some reason he's that little punch. Remember that clown toy? You punch the clown as an inflatable clown and it bounce back.
Oh yeah.
Punch it, bounce back. Well, Leonardo runs into one. He starts pushing. He goes, yeah. Oh wait, let me do this. Yeah. And for some reason we quoted that all the time. I don't know why. But anyway, there was a TV series that takes place after the movies. I lent it to a buddy of mine. It is awful. It's so bad. That's where Venus de Milo, the only appearance of her, is in that series. And the creator of Turtles is so Brian. What's his name? I'm Brian. Eason was so upset about that he forbids anyone to even mention her as a joke. Eric Larson wanted to just mention her as a joke, like make fun of her. And Brian said, nope, you may not mention her. She does not exist in my world. He was so mad they made a female turtle. Kind of crazy when you think about it, but he was totally gets them making fun of it. But anyway, yeah, actually, I love Jonah Hex so much that I was in the stage play Footloose. It says, hey, we want you reading a comic book. I brought a Jonah. They thought it was gonna be Spider-Man, Superman, Batman. I brought Jonah Hex, and she looked at me and went, who is that? And I was like, no, he did. He said, who's that? I went, it's a comic book. You said a comic book. He went, well, I thought something like a Superman, or I was like, no, this is good. He said, is that like a cowboy? It was cowboy. See, it's a cowboy comic. He's like, oh yeah, Western comic book. Yeah, I got it. I was like, you don't even know. And so I'm reading a Jonah Hex comic book in the show. It was really fun.
For all of its ups and downs, I actually do like Jonah Hex in Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, was that the cartoon?
No, Legends of Tomorrow is one of the live-action CW shows, and every so often they time travel into the Old West, and Jonah Hex shows up, and it's actually pretty cool.
Oh, shut up! I didn't even know that. I didn't know he did. They did other things with him. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Oh, the first one's the best. The second one's the next best. The third one's the next best. The third, Bumblebee is somewhere between 3 and 4, maybe. But Bumblebee is not good. It doesn't suck as bad as the last 3 movies.
I would say it doesn't suck as bad as all of them except one. So I would put 1 Bumblebee, then everything else.
Also love Turtles 3. That movie was hilarious. You loved Turtles 3? You loved it? I would say the first one is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I loved it. In fact, I would say watch these movies in backwards order. You may enjoy them more. But the TV show is really sad. The only interesting part about the TV show is they're owned by the same people at that time who owned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they did a crossover. The Turtles did a crossover with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yes, it happened. And that's the most interesting thing about the TV show, isn't it, Adam?
Yes. Wait, the Ninja Turtles, right?
Yes. Hey, man.
Hey, how are you?
Look, you're on my stream now.
Yeah, thanks for the
Not
invite.
that spineless coward Geeks Addict.
Did you see his recent video?
Oh, I don't watch any of his videos. I'm kidding. Yes, I did. Hey, so y'all met up.
Yeah, we did. I met him yesterday.
So what's the Geeks Addict life in real life?
He's cool. He's really cool. I really enjoyed talking with him. We met at Starbucks and we talked for a couple hours.
Is that face real?
Yeah.
Wow. Is he a nice guy?
Oh, yeah, really nice guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Son.
No, I didn't breathe on him like he asked me to.
You should have asked. You should have said, I'm sorry, but can I get a hug? That's what I'm going to say when I meet him.
Can you get a hug?
Can I get a hug? Let's hug it out. I feel like we have to hug. No, he's a cool guy. Y'all found out that y'all are living in the same town, right?
Yeah, we live in the same state. He lives in
same state. Okay.
Yeah, he lives.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he lives like a few miles. Like he probably lives like 20 minutes away from me. So.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. What was my favorite Teenage Mutant Turtles series? Are you talking about comic book series? Because, to be honest, I never read the originals. I kind of want to get them, because didn't they reprint them just recently? Does anyone know comic books here? I think they just reprinted them, and so I'd like to see the old Brian Easton ones, but I think they're a little too weird for me, too, because I'm more of the cartoon Shredder guy, and Shredder was hardly in the series, if I recall. He's in and done in the first few issues, and he's not a villain after that. So Eric Larson's Turtle. No, that was the one they reprinted, was Eric Larson's Image comic books. And that's the one that was a really good series. Really good
one
series.
Where they all have red bandanas instead of different colored ones?
Well, yeah, that's basically how the original one was set too.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's the one where they all get mutilated. Leonardo gets his hand bitten off by some shark guy. He shoves a katana in his stub and wraps a bandage around it. And now he's fighting with a sword in his stub in his hand, like Evil Dead style.
I want to read this.
This is the Eric Larson Image Turtles comic book.
Okay.
In issue 2, Donatello falls from a helicopter and cracks his shell and broke his back and everything. And they have to replace him as a cyborg. He's more machine than man. And that was issue 2. Issue 1, I think it is, that Raph gets stuck in the eye. And he's got a patch on his eye from then on out because he lost an eye. Now, Leonardo lost his hand way later in the series. But I think Michelangelo is the only one that's unscathed.
Weirdly enough, that doesn't surprise me.
But they did it because it was all black. I think it was done black and white. So that's where you could tell which turtle was what based on their mutilation. I was like, what the heck? But it was really dark, and I really enjoyed it. And Brian Easton, when he took back the rights, he said, that's not how because it just like Eric Larson. Eric Larson loved to make everything connect. I really like this guy. Even though I never read Savage Dragon. My brother loves Savage Dragon. But I think he still collects it too. But I like Eric Larson because he does make any Savage Dragon team up they did, crossover. It impacted the Savage Dragon universe. I mean, it was you had to get everything Savage Dragon. So I like that his appearance to continuity, of course. I can respect that. I went and got his autograph when I saw him. I said, I bought like Savage Dragon 1/2 or something stupid on someone's table for 50 cents and had him autograph it because I do like the guy. I just don't read Savage Dragon. I'm just not interested in Savage Dragon. But what he did for the Turtles was really good, and he connects it to where Brian Easton's story ended. I believe he picks it up. And but then Brian Easton wrote over that. He said, no, that didn't happen. My turtles didn't get mutilated like that. But back then, that was when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they didn't have a new cartoon out. They were kind of dying. There was that dark ages period that we usually have with some of these franchises. And that's when Turtles, no one was really caring about them anymore. So Larson could do whatever he wanted. And it was a really good series. I really enjoyed that.
I recently watched the animated Batman versus Ninja Turtles movie. It was actually not bad. It's pretty good.
I think I saw that too. I think Bruce gave me a copy of that.
Yeah, it was pretty violent for a cartoon, but I mean, it's comics these days.
Look at this. Since I love your what's this called? The picture of your thing there.
His profile picture.
Yeah, profile pic. Thanks. I haven't slept. Anyway, since DC wants to make a streaming service, shows R-rated and edgy, make a Jonah Hex show. Yeah, I'd watch that. That'd be interesting. I'll be honest, I'm done with Titans. I can't watch Titans anymore.
Me and my wife watched 2 episodes, and we were like,
I sadly sat through 2 seasons, praying it would get better. It's awful. It's anytime they talk with Robin, if it's a Robin episode, it's pretty good. If it's about Jason Todd, he's awesome. Jason Todd's the best character in there. Robin's pretty good too. But Jason Todd, they should have just called it Robin. I would have enjoyed it a little bit better. Plus, they dragged Nightwing until the end of season 2, the last few minutes. I'm like, garbage. They just don't have the money to do it, and it shows. And the show is so boring.
I was gonna say, I thought they were pretty daring with who they casted as Bruce Wayne, because that's like the guy from Game of Thrones, I believe. I can't remember his name, but I remember seeing him in Game of Thrones, and I'm just like, he's Scottish, I believe, and he was really trying to hide his accent. But
okay, all right. So Joey asked a question, even though it comes with a spoiler, though. Jason Solo's character arc during Legacy of the Force was a lazy retread of his grandpa's. Do you think it is? I say no.
Completely different motivations.
Are you familiar with Legacy of the Force, Adam?
Haven't made it that far. No,
okay. Adam's still moving through the series, guys. So probably I shouldn't have showed you that.
Oh, it's okay. I know quite a bit of what happens, but I just haven't read them yet. So
favorite female superhero from Marvel and DC. Okay. So not movie, just superhero.
It's a cinematic universe.
Oh, cinematic universe. Oh, I don't know. I can't say it. From DC? I already talked about Marvel. I don't know from DC. No one. They haven't made anyone interesting. No. Her movies don't suck. Her movie didn't suck, but didn't rock either. It's just that we were so happy that finally a DC movie didn't suck. We're like, this is the best movie in the world. I was like, no, it'd be mid-card in the MCU. It wasn't a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, oh, finally, a movie that doesn't suck. But we're all praising it because we really want DC to do well. It's like Aquaman's probably the best movie for me, for DC, but it was way too long. Ocean Master, they shouldn't have put in. They should have put more Black Manta. he was more interesting a character. It seemed like
I'm a
they
Man
tried
of
to do
Steel
too
guy
much.
myself.
Say what?
I'm a Man of Steel guy myself.
Oh,
Sorry.
don't get me started on that. Adam, what's your favorite DC movie? If you want to go into the animated realm, I could give you some good answers. But
I actually do like the animated films better than the movies. But
I'm for DC. I agree with you.
DC. I like the unrated edition of Batman v Superman, but for favorite, I actually think Wonder Woman was actually my favorite. I thought that was really well done.
If I look back at Wonder Woman, I might pick Wonder Woman over Aquaman because I didn't. My problem with Wonder Woman is it had silly parts. I remember when I can't remember, like she bounces off someone's shield, jumps into a church, and then the whole church bell explodes. And I was like,
yeah,
what? And there were just some. Now there's some cool moments too, but it was just like, and then the fight at the end. There's a few things I didn't like about that too. I thought it was like, I'm done
so
here.
Weird with the helmet. And the...
yeah, it just didn't. Oh yeah, Ares, the god of war, or whatever. I can't remember. I don't even remember the ending there, so I kind of forget it. But the thing was, it was just kind of over the top and got kind of hokey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was really enjoying this, and then you did this, and it just was. But you know what? I don't know. It's still a toss up between that and Aquaman. So you could say, yeah, I could go with Wonder Woman if convinced. Maybe I need to watch it again.
I don't know. It's just I kind of felt like they were really. There was just kind of something different about it, and I just kind of felt like out of all the movies, like it wasn't as forced, if that makes any sense. Like
I got you.
So. I mean, I liked Batman v Superman, but I didn't care for the theatrical cut because it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. Callum says he met somebody online that lives near him, big EU fan. That's nice. Did you give him a calendar? Let's see. What else? Originals reprinted in black and white and in color. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah.
Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead. What?
Do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show up in the Usagi Yojimbo comics? Is that a thing?
I believe so. I never read those, but I believe you're right. You meant
TV. I should get into those, and they're like, and the turtles show up. Okay.
He meant favorite TV series. Brother, I haven't seen any of the new stuff. I've only seen the old 80s cartoon, which I'm told sucks. My wife, I borrowed her the entire collection on DVD. I've only seen a few episodes, and I agree it's not that good. I used to love that TV series back in the day. But but even the live action one I have is not that good, but it's interesting. So maybe that one. The TV shows, the old original 80s cartoon made me a fan. Okay, there it is. That's what made me a fan. I don't think those cartoons are that good now. I'm afraid to rewatch them all because we watched a few together, and I was like, ooh. And you hate when a cartoon from your childhood that you cherish gets destroyed later on as you're an adult.
Do you remember when they had to censor Michelangelo's nunchucks and they gave him like a turtle shell on a rope or something?
Yeah, All-American Cornbread. Thank you. His name is Kevin Eason.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Eastman. I'm sorry, not Brian. You're right. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh no, that was it. I just remembered that they censored a couple of things. Like they changed the word ninja in one series to hero turtles, and they gave Michelangelo like a little turtle shell that had like a little rope attached to it or something.
Let me answer this one by RJ. Really cool. I would say Nightfall trilogy is what I'd want to see. Seth?
Sword of the Jedi.
Are you familiar with these two, Adam? These were stories that we were going to get, but didn't. So, Sword of the Jedi was focused on Jaina. Nightfall wasn't. The Nightfall I'm thinking about was from New Jedi Order. Is that correct? Is that the one you're talking about? That's why I picked Nightfall. I think it was that. I mean, you talk about Elaine Cunningham's Blood Oath. I probably would have liked to have seen that one too, because it even gets mentioned in the New Jedi Order because it was supposed to be the next book, and so someone mentioned it to set it up, and it never we never saw what happened, or we find it's the aftermath because it was already supposed to have happened. Zombie Slayer has one here. Resident Evil 4 so hard. Is that just me? Never played it, gentlemen.
I've played one of them, but I don't think it was 4.
I played the first one back in the day. That scared me. I mean, now I'm sure it's laughable, but you'd go to open the door and the camera would zoom in on the door, open it, it'd be pitch black, and you'd go in there and you wouldn't know if it was going to be a zombie or something in there, and you had very limited ammo. I mean, you couldn't shoot every zombie, so you had to avoid a lot of them.
I remember when my brother played it when I was a kid, the Resident Evil 3, I believe, and man, that scared me.
Oh, it scared me. Oh, here he goes. Count Under the Red Hood is great.
Yes.
Agreed.
Almost as great as a calendar would have been if it would have been coming out. Okay. Wait. Censorship was in the European import for Turtles.
Oh, that's okay.
Censorship.
Yeah, that's where they changed, like, instead of Teenage Mutant Ninja, they turned them into Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And then they gave Michelangelo a different weapon. Because apparently out of all the weapons, his was the most offensive. Like, we had two guys with, like, two swords. And
what'd they replace it with?
Like I was saying, they had like a turtle shell that was tied to a rope, and he just slung that around and hit people with it or something.
I remember this now. Oh, man, Turtle Talk. My favorite Turtle game back in the day was the old arcade, the 4-controller arcade. Walmart came out with a reprint of
at my Walmart. They have one copy on display to where everybody can just play it.
Oh, I'm glad they didn't have one on display, or I would have dropped $400, and I do not need to drop $400 on that game. But I probably dropped $400 in quarters back when I was a kid. I remember I would mow people's lawns and ask them to pay me in quarters. Like, can you go to the bank and get rolls of quarters to pay me? Can you pay me the $20 in quarters, please? I mean, and when I got money, I'd beg mom to go take me to the bank so I could cash it in for quarters. Because once a month we would go to the bowling alley, and my mom would make us not the bowling alley, skate rink, and my mom would make us skate for at least an hour because we had to do some kind of exercise. After that, we could go play the stupid video game, and we could not wait for our hour. I mean, we had fun skating. We'd forget about it, but after a while, we'd get off there, run, and help out whoever was playing the game, because there's always people playing that game. You're like, here I come, and
Can I show you something funny real quick?
Sure.
Let me just grab it's right here.
Sure, go ahead. I'll finish the story. So anyway, I'm like, here, man, you want in on this? Because if you had all 4 turtles, you had a chance at winning. I said, okay, dig into my pocket, man. I got quarters in there. Why am I asking some stranger to dig into my pocket? But hey, folks, them's were the 90s. And, so I just had strangers just digging in my pocket, other kids digging in my pockets for quarters. Like, yeah, get the quarter out of my pocket. Okay, go. Help me. This mouse droid's killing me. And I can't remember what it was. It's for Xbox. Oh, I may have the game here. Maybe in the other room. But the old Xbox game where it was Turtles something 2. And it would actually turn out to be a fantastic game. The only reason I bought it was because it had a level that if you unlock that level, you would unlock the original arcade game and you could play it. And I was like, and I unlocked it, and then I stopped playing the regular game. Well, then I went back to play the regular game, and I had a ball with that game. That game was awesome. I can't remember what it was called. It was the second one for Xbox. And I love that game. All right, Adam, what you got for me?
Well, I made a joke request for Christmas, asking for that Ninja Turtle arcade game, and my brother-in-law actually got me it.
Shut up! Hold on. What is this?
It's a mini Ninja Turtle pinball game. You just play pinball on the sides here.
That is
that
great.
Like one of those old handheld? What were they called? Like the black and white digital game things where you had to get a different one for each game you wanted to play? Forget what those were called.
Well, I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you remember those things you would get where it's like this little handheld thing and it's like this one is for basketball or this one's for golf or this, and they were like PSP sized things that you could play a game, but there were only one specific game for each one.
Yeah, I remember which one you're talking about.
This is a good one. If Christy Golden can't write Sword of the Jedi, who would be your second choice to write it? I would love to see Dave Wolverton come back. I think that's an excellent pick. I know you said Troy Denning later on. He's good too, but Troy Denning's done tons of stuff. I would love to see Dave Wolverton come back. That's a great question. What author didn't get that much love? Like they didn't write that much. Who would you like to see write more? Dave Wolverton. 100%. He only did one. I mean, he did some stuff for Scholastic, but that one solid novel, man. Princess, and plus he's a great guy. He's a great guy if you ever talk to him. That would be my pick.
So
Who would
far-
you like? A one hit wonder, maybe.
Oh, like to write a Star Wars novel? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean
Yeah.
So far, my favorite author in Legends is James Luceno. He wrote Plagueis.
He's written several, though. You're going to enjoy a lot of his stuff, but Plagueis is probably his best.
Yeah. I mean,
Seth?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking because he's finishing up his big series here, and I believe he's only ever done one Star Wars book. James S.A. Corey. He's finishing up The Expanse, like his whole huge series. So maybe he'd be free to come back and do some Star Wars.
And he did the last book, right? He did
The Razor's Edge, I think, was the one he did.
No. He didn't do Razor's Edge. That was Martha Wells. That was the Leia story. Honor Among Thieves. Yes.
I want to read
I didn't
that.
even have to look at I didn't even have to look at it. That's a fun one. That's actually a really good one. I did enjoy that. Okay, here we go. Matt Nana, which movie is better or worse? Wow. Son of Batman or Batman I don't think I ever saw Bad Blood.
I think Bad Blood is worse, personally.
Yeah.
I never saw Bad Blood. I didn't like Son of Batman, so I'm gonna pick Son of Batman. But that I can't pick really because I didn't see Bad Blood. That's wild because I usually watch all those.
I personally liked Son of Batman better than Batman Bad Blood. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say maybe Son of Batman better.
Okay. You like to see Walter John Williams? Huh. Interesting. Courtship Prince Leia. Yeah, I never understood the hate for that as well. It's really a solid novel.
Dathomir, Night Sisters, Rancors is great.
It's got some comedy in it. It's written really good. Dan wrote Crucible saying, "Oh yeah, oh look." Callum says, "I'd say I'm never making a calendar." Oh no, John Whitman. John Whitman who did Galaxy of Fear. That'd be interesting. I would love to see him come back. Because I would love to. Oh no, I would love to read his 2 Star Wars fairy tales books that were made and were supposed to be the next young adult series, but then they decided since Episode 1 was coming out, they needed to focus on Episode 1 instead, and that's how Jedi Apprentice got made. But Star Wars fairy tales was supposed to be the next one. It was supposed to be stories of Jason and Jaina in their youth. How cool would that have been? And he wrote the first 2. My favorite superhero. This has to be Master Chief, Michael, and Halo. I don't know anyone else. Has to be Master Chief or Cortana.
I'd probably say the same. I only played the multiplayer on Halo in college. I never really dug into the story, so probably Master Chief. That's the only person I know. So.
Okay, Adam, I asked Seth this question earlier. Favorite pizza? Where do you go to get your favorite pizza?
Domino's.
Okay, I just had Domino's last year, and I was like, oh, I haven't had this in a while. That's just pretty good.
Yeah, I like the crust on it. Me and my wife like to get Domino's probably the best or the most. Sorry.
He's talking about the what was that gun called? The gun of command. I can't remember, Joe. I know what you're talking about, where you shot it and that person had to obey you. I understand, but this is early expanded universe stuff, and I don't mind it as much. True, I don't think you'd have that in today's or if in future expanded universe novels, but I did not mind it. Plus, it was very unique. But yeah, it does. It's one of those things like, well, if that exists, then you start playing what ifs in your head.
Yeah,
y'all know what he's talking about? The gun that you shoot someone, they have to obey you.
Yeah, and that like the RPG side of my brain starts going, well, maybe it's an item that it's very specific circumstances required for its use, and
like the caliber crystal from like the caliber crystal from Sprint of the Mind's Eye, where the further you're away from the planet Mimban, I think Mimban 4 or whatever, its power diminishes. That's actually look at that, thinking like an RPG guy.
Maybe also a writer if I'm lucky.
Hey. I want to know if they're being better. I, if you want to add the X-Wing books, if you're talking about just the X-Wing books, yes, I think you got to read them in order. You have to. Like Stackpole's, then Alston's, then their one-offs, Stackpole, Alston, Stackpole, or whatever it is. I think you do. No, it's Stackpole for Istar's Revenge, Alston for Starfighters the Andumar, and then Alston again for Mercy Kill, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to read those in order. I think you would. I would say those you do. So I would agree. I concur.
I always advocate for going in like the proper chronological order. Like for Narnia, I'm the person who's like, you should start with Magician's Nephew, and I know a lot of people don't like that. But for Star Wars, picking up, if you want to pick up right after Return of the Jedi, I'd say start at Truce of Bakura, go from there chronologically.
Okay, it is the Gun of Command. Ooh, I'm doing good tonight. My memory's doing well.
Very nice.
I didn't know John Whitman was credited for the Dark Empire Forces drama. That's interesting. Okay, RJ, which one is worse, Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void, Crystal Star, or Red Harvest? I think I've already mentioned that Dawn of the Jedi I hate worse out of those two, maybe.
Crystal Star.
I don't know. Crystal Star's got some hate going for it.
I was actually about to read Red Harvest, and then when I was joining on the live stream and you guys were talking about how much you hated Red Harvest, I was just like, well, okay, scrap.
If it helps, I didn't hate it. I understand the hate for it, but I didn't hate it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Did you love it?
I did not love it.
Okay. All right.
I didn't hate it, is what I'm saying.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And I always say someone can, have a difference of opinion. That's totally fine. He's right about these for Courtship of Princess Leia, Kiss My Wookiee, and Leia getting that sun song stuck in her head was really funny because I think it's 3PO makes a song to he's trying to help Han out. He's trying to be a wingman, which is hilarious. And Han Solo, he's the man, or something like that. And so she's like, that's the stupidest song. Shut it off. And then she's going to bed that night. She's humming that song because it's catchy. I love that. Let me see. Don't mind the mind control being goofy. It's more of a really slimy and creepy, not something I'd see Han doing. Just finished Courtship, fresh in my mind. I'll have to reread it to see how it was used. I don't remember it that well. I mean, I know what it was. I know some of the story arc, but
as far as I recall, he uses that to try to because she won't give him a chance, and he uses that so that she will have to give him a chance, but he doesn't actually, take advantage or anything, as far as I recall.
Right. Okay. Got it. Well, desperate times, desperate man. You can't say if there's a girl you loved and there was a gun of command like Cupid's arrow. Mm-hmm. We all thought like that. I wish she loved me instead of that nerd. Why she loved that nerd with so much money? I don't understand.
Why is she hanging out too much with Prince Caesar?
Well, in Courtship, it was, what's the name of the prince? I sold her. Yeah.
I have to read Dawn of the Jedi now. I'll be honest, there's probably someone out there who likes Dawn of the Jedi. I got to plug the website again. Did you see Professor Geek's review of Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void?
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. I thought it was a very interesting take on it. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy watching other people's reviews and seeing their opinions and how they differ from mine. Mm-hmm. That used to be the only thing we used to argue about back in the day, oddly enough. And now it's like, it's nice to see a fresh perspective. Now, do you like Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void? Or you thought it wasn't that bad?
I like where it was going. I feel like there was potential to take the story somewhere really cool. And I thought that the beginning of the story, like that first book, was fine.
Well, I'm on chapter 2 of it, so would you recommend finishing it?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me what you think.
Okay.
Or do a review for EU.com. That'd be funny. We're just doing nothing but Dawn of the Jedi reviews. I hate that and love it at the same time. Corrupted hard drive. Here's my opinion. Just me, okay? I think everyone should read it from, if you are, read it in the chronological order of Bantam and then up. However, though, reading in chronological order, although I don't suggest it for new fans getting into the series, as a Star Wars fan, I have and this is how I'm going to reread the series in chronological order. When I'm done, I'm going to reread everything in chronological order. I think it's going to be awesome. Because in my opinion, the books and stories, even though there's some great stuff, I already talked about the Old Republic books and how I loved them, but I think the series just gets better and better and more, and we get more great stories going forward as we pass the prequels, as we move into the Bantam era, as we move into the Del Rey era, and it just gets better and better, I think. So in my opinion, you should read all the Young Jedi Knights. Do you have to understand New Jedi Order? Nope, you don't. You don't. However, if you did, you would get some of the connections from Young Jedi Knights, because the only history the kids have are from those young adult books. And Anakin's Junior Jedi Knights, which I hear is really hard to get a hold of, though, unfortunately. I don't know how hard it is, but I did hear it is hard to get a hold of now. That's sad, because they'll never reprint those.
I really wish they would, like in a full collected volume. That'd be.
All right, here we go, Fifth Doctor. Here we go. Do you think Filoni will make or take over Kathleen Kennedy's job? No, I don't think so. They don't hand a franchise over to a guy who's making a TV show. Sorry. I know there's lots of love for him by fans, but I don't see that.
All I know that he did is Rebels, so that's pretty much it.
And the Clone Wars.
Oh, and the what?
And the Clone Wars.
He did the Clone Wars too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But quick shout out to you, the Fifth Doctor. I think Peter Davison is pretty cool. So,
you think what is? You think what?
The Fifth Doctor as Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor as his avatar picture. I was actually, I was playing your Nightcap stream in the background while I'm planning for a Doctor Who RPG. So, yeah.
Oh no! Now you've opened up the flooding gates. He's going to ask He asked Amelia so many Doctor Who questions.
Bring it on.
I'm kidding. That's fine. Bring it on. He's all ready for it. I'd read at least the first 6 Young Jedi Knights books. That's fine. That's fair too. I just someone who just loves it. Now hold on though. Does that have the assassin or the attempted assassination storyline? Because that's why I don't want to ruin too much. You know, the one that happens on Hapes, in the Hapes cluster. You know what I mean? Does the first 6 cover that? I don't think so. I think that's in the next story arc. And remember, that's a story that's mentioned in Young Jedi Knights.
I'm trying to remember, in the first 6, is that where you have the Shadow Academy, or is that later?
Hold on, Shadow Academy is the first 6. So yeah. I am right. It is in the second story arc. Yes. So yes, you kind of the Black Sun story arc. I think you would have to read that. But again, you don't have to read any of them. You won't miss a thing. But if you read them, there are some, connections. Some, connections to it. Read Junior Jedi Knights, don't remember much. I mean, there were children's novels starring Anakin and Tahiri. Her first appearance was in those.
Man, poor Tahiri. Just.
I know, it's a great storyline with her. Yeesh. Man, Junior Jedi Knights are even better. Wow, than Young Jedi Knights. Wow, that is a bold statement. You think Junior Jedi Knights is better than Young Adult?
Hey, let him have his opinion.
That's interesting. I would like to hear why he think that is interesting. I'm just interested with it. I wouldn't agree, but I love that you think that. That is interesting. Have y'all read the Junior? I know, Adam, you haven't. Seth?
Not yet.
I'm getting to those. I snagged the EPUB for them, so I'm actually going to give them a look.
Nice. I like the Golden Globe idea. That was the first one. You like Master Irrit, the Jedi Master Bunny Rabbit? It's funny that he doesn't get. And see, that's the thing. All these people say 10 dumbest things about the expanding universe. All they're doing is they're looking over past articles and they're just grabbing the same stuff. Yeah. But if someone makes an article about Jedi Master Irrit, the Jedi Master Bunny, that would be everywhere. But no one knows the EU that much.
Yeah. And so people always talk about it. One of the things people always bring up is Skippy, the force-sensitive droid, and they don't
I've heard of him,
research where it's like,
he wasn't even canon.
Right.
No.
They run about $50 on eBay for the set of 6. Woo! That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But still, that's because they're just not getting reprinted. Oh no! All right, go for it.
So,
You were waiting for this question, by the way. He is so excited.
yeah, BBC and Cubicle 7 have a Doctor Who RPG that's actually pretty solid. I'm doing the preliminary research and I guess plug my RPG podcast once again. That'll probably be a system we end up running on there at some point. And yeah, it's based around 2d6s, and you can have your own TARDIS and gadgets and whatnot. And what I actually really find interesting about the system is that the entire initiative roll, well, it's not even roll, the entire initiative is based on the fact that anybody who wants to do combat goes last. It goes talkers, runners, doers, fighters. So like people always get a chance to talk and try to diffuse the situation, and then they get a chance to do something, and then they get a chance to run away before the fighting even begins, which is very Doctor Who, and I like it. Very thematic.
Okay. Someone else asked a question that I thought was pretty good. Dave Filoni ruined characters General Grievous and Ventress. I would agree with Grievous. Grievous is not. If you watch this in chronological order, like Episode 2 and then Filoni's Clone Wars and Episode 3, it cheapens Episode 3 in every aspect. Go ahead, Adam. You want to talk to about this?
I am so glad they asked that, because there is one thing about the new Clone Wars show as opposed to the 2003 show that I do not like whatsoever. You remember in Revenge of the Sith when they're on Grievous' ship and he goes up to Anakin, he's just like, Anakin Skywalker. I was expecting someone like you to be older. I'm like, you have met him like several times in the Clone Wars computer animated show, yes. But that's why I like the original better, is because they never met, so that makes more sense.
And then with Dooku, this time we do it together. Unlike the other 2 times we went up against him. Have you forgotten about that? Everything is just garbage.
I mean, the Clone Wars show itself is fine, but I like the original better just because it makes Revenge of the Sith make more sense.
It does.
And I actually really like the Clone Wars comics as well. I thought they did Grievous and Ventress and Quinlan Voss so much better than the show did.
And it introduces Grievous as this big bad villain. You're like, oh my gosh, it was great. I did a review on the 2003 Clone Wars and Filoni's Clone Wars. I think they're in my favorites under TV series reviews. Check them out.
Fun fact about that episode, when Grievous first appeared in the old one, that Jedi that he just crushed, like he jumped on, his name is Shaggy, because he's based off Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
I love it. That is one of my favorite things.
Yub Nub is one hungry Ewok. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see. Does anyone get that? Actually, to be honest, I'll talk about it online. I can't talk about it on the site, but maybe you'll get that. Okay. But we can talk about it off. But I've been dropping clues like that for a long time in the videos. I don't know. It's been very light. But anyway, let's see. That's all I can say. Yub Nub is one hungry Ewok. I'll tell you later. Matt,
okay.
Look at this. Oh, wait. Click the wrong one. Okay. Matt, do you think Tarkin and Dala were more than just friends? Well, yeah, of course they were. You need to read the Jedi Academy trilogy.
They're in Death Star. There's actually a point where it shows them meeting up and having a romantic tryst.
Seriously, why do you think Yubna was eating so much bologna? If you get the joke, I mean, it was from Filoni, but it was also because I'm saying he's hungry.
Yeah.
In fact, I say that several times in certain stories.
I think I caught on. Yeah,
I thought that was pretty witty of me. In fact, there's tons of Easter eggs. Like, oh no. Yeah, go. He's gonna talk about the twin sons here in a minute. Glad to have him when his internet catches up with him. But let me see. Good night, 8080. He never met Dylan. Says you're unable to. Oh, there it is. Okay, about time. Before I let you talk, I'm gonna let you talk about that.
Oh no, you guys go on.
There's-
I was enjoying this conversation.
There's a few. In fact, I think only one person. No, Dylan knows. There's another Easter egg that I've hidden in those videos. So it's funny. Eventually, I'll tell people, but I know there's a handful of people that know it. I think there's only 3, to be honest, that know about it. But there's another Easter egg that I put in there, just for fun. Just for fun. There's nothing big and revealing, but that one about him eating bologna at the very beginning of the episodes and everything, I dropped the storyline eventually because I think I made my point, but it's very light if you don't get it. Dylan, I'm gonna have you talk in just a second here. How different would New Year Order be if Dark 3 Siege had been made and published? I don't know that much about it, to be honest, so I can't say. Seth?
I feel like probably Stackpole had further plans for Anakin, but they were feeling like, well, let's not overdo it because.
Is this an EU book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't made it that far yet. Sorry.
That's fine.
It would have been the 4th book of New Jedi Order.
I think it was the. I think she was the Whoville cheermeister, right? The person that time of year who needs the biggest round of cheer.
Holiday Cheermeister or what?
The holiday who's whatty? I don't know if anyone gets this. It's hilarious. Dylan, what is going on with Twin Sons?
Just the normal stuff.
Yeah, but let's talk about it.
I know. So today we just announced that we are doing the first of our 2, possibly 3 fundraisers this year. Mm-hmm. With the last fundraiser being the billboard, we actually had about $350 left over from the billboard fund. Mm-hmm. And we had said that we were going to use that money towards our next fundraiser for a book drive. Well, we found out that we only really need $500 per hospital to bring enough books for them because fortunately there's never more than 30-40 kids at a children's hospital at any one time, which is a good thing, but it means that we can bring 50-60 books and then
yeah, less kids in the hospital. I agree. Good. Right. It definitely fits under the good things section. Go ahead, Dylan.
But since
I hope you weren't saying, I'm just so glad that these hospitals don't admit that many children because, man, it costs a lot more to give them books.
Well, no, it's more efficient because we can go, okay, $500. So
hold on, stop. Should I get Brian on here before you incriminate Twin Sons? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so we were originally planning on doing $1,000, so we'd do 2 hospitals. But since we had $350 already, we would only need $650 to do the 2 hospitals. So we thought, well, what if we upped it to 3 and we fundraise for 3? So we'd only need $1,150 at that point, plus a bit extra for the PayPal fees and operating costs. So pretty much all of December and January, we spent pretty much getting 3 hospitals in line, which believe it or not was a bit of a process. But we finally got it out. We are going to go to the Dallas Scottish Rite Children's Hospital in Dallas, Phoenix Children's Hospital, and we have pretty much confirmed the 3rd hospital, which is going to be in Southern California. They just need to talk it over with their boss and get it fully approved. But they're already doing an event that day. They're just essentially asking if we can go along with them. So awesome. That 3rd one will probably be announced within the next week, possibly. Awesome. I'm a flying bump. But yeah, so we're raising money to go to 3 hospitals. Pretty much same deal. We bring the 501st with us, hand out books. All 3 of those donations are going to happen in May as well. Hence the fundraiser title, May the Books Be With Them. And yeah, it's going to be great. Donate.
Awesome. Yeah, donate. Awesome. And there's as always, we have the reward for high donors. I'd love to have you on the podcast and talk about a lot of stuff. And you can be in the halls of the podcast that so many greats have already been a part of. Matthew Rosenberg, Joe Bongiorno, and my third guest coming up soon. I can't wait. Can't wait to talk to. I think I even got my fourth guest lined up. And if it does work out, it's just going to just be better and better, man. We're getting some great guest stars on there.
Man, I'm really looking forward to the Kathleen Kennedy episode.
I'm telling you, spoilers. You know what? If he would do it, I'd bring Chucky on. That'd be awesome. I'd bring Filoni on too. I would. I wouldn't care. People are always asking me, what would you do if you met Filoni? I'd say, talk to him, you know.
At least with Filoni, like, you've seen his work. With Chuck, you'd just be like, I've only heard things.
Yeah, you were asking me earlier, like, what of the new stuff I've read? I tried to read Aftermath. No.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I only got a few chapters in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I quit after a few chapters of Life Debt. I actually didn't know it was a sequel to the first one. So
that's interesting. I've heard that Life Debt was the good one.
Oh my goodness. I'm killing. All right, let me ask you this, Adam. What book got you into the expanded universe?
Well, the first
hold on, All American Cornbread. I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
I can't remember which one I read first, but I think it was Plagueis, because I was.
Oh, okay, it was Plagueis. Okay.
Yeah, I was. I read Shadows of the Empire. That was my first Legends novel I ever read, but then I read Plagueis, and I was just like, I want to learn more about like all the other Sith Lords, like Revan and Bane and everything. And those are all the stories I've read so far, all the Sith Lords. But I also want to read Honor Among Thieves and the New Jedi Order stuff. And so I'm just like, okay, I want to read all this.
Yeah, my advice: take your time.
Yeah,
enjoy it. There's plenty out there, and lots to get.
Yeah, and I really enjoy them. I'm just kind of sad that they're all now legends, and I'm just like, man, this would have been great material.
A buddy of mine, when the first movie came out, he felt that he was watching Rebels with his son and going, "This isn't Star Wars." And then he watched Force Awakens. He said, "This doesn't feel like Star Wars," and he was excited about the movie. And then he talked to me because that's when I started making he said, well, he didn't know I was doing these videos. He said, "Hey, man," he's like, "I've been kind of disappointed with the new Star Wars. I'm just not getting it. It's not feeling Star Wars. I know you read the books." He said, "Could you give me an idea of what book I should start on?" I was like, are you joking with me? Because I had just started gaining traction on YouTube on it. And he's like, "No, what do you mean?" I said, "I'm doing these on videos about it, and I've kind of gotten a little bit of a following. I've almost got 1,000 subscribers." You know, he's like, "Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. I'll check you out." I say, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, read Timothy Zahn's trilogy." He was like, "Okay." And he checked it out. I was like, this is awesome. He said, "It feels like Star Wars. This feels like my Star Wars. What else?" And so I don't know what he's reading now, because I haven't talked to him in a while, but or haven't talked to him about that in a while. But he was picking up all the old Bantam novels for a while and just really enjoying it. And man, this feels like Star Wars more than the movie. I was like, I know. So, and I always love to hear about that. So that's why I asked you that question. What was your book that got you in? Because that's interesting to me. And to be honest, Plagueis is a great novel.
Oh, yeah. And I wanted to read the Han Solo trilogy before the movie came out. And
which one? A.C. Crispin's or Brian Daley's? Yeah. A.C. Crispin's. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people love A.C. Crispin's. And to be honest, she did a fantastic job. I was 1,000% against her writing a Han Solo trilogy because she was a Trek writer. You don't get Star Wars. Plus, Brian Daley already wrote the Han Solo trilogy. That is fantastic.
Well, what I liked about
A.C. Crispin did a fantastic job. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say what I liked about it was that she actually answered questions like why Han joined the Empire, why he saved Chewie, and it goes really deep into that. And I just kind of felt like the movie was good in answering those questions just a tad bit, but it kind of left just like, well, that kind of contradicts what has been said later on. I mean, like, for example, like when he in the movie when he helps Chewie out of the chains and everything, I kind of felt like that wasn't really him rescuing. That's kind of more of a joint effort. But in the books, he actually did save him. So I mean, that's just kind of what I mean.
That wasn't in the Crispin books. Because I recently reread the Crispin books, and you just pick up with him once he's already met Chewie. Like where does
in the second
actual scene is where you actually see him help Chewie? But I felt like it's in like one of the
comics.
Oh
well, okay, it doesn't actually. I'll rephrase. I'm sorry. In the second book, it starts off with him like already with Chewie, but it tells it talks about how he, how he saved Chewie and everything from. That's what I should have elaborated.
That was one of George's things that like he didn't want explicitly shown was them meeting, but he allowed the authors to like allude to it and like describe how it happened, like in past tense. They just couldn't show it happening.
Isn't there in like one of the comics where it kind of flashes back to it briefly? I feel like
that's artwork of it.
If they show what happens before and after, but they don't show the actual event.
Okay.
They talk about it. And Brian Daley's, did they ever do a comic book on Brian Daley's adaptation on Brian Daley's comic book? I mean, they do a comic book adaptation on Brian Daley's Star Wars.
I think
that's the only time I remember them mentioning it was in Brian Daley's. And they mention it. They don't say what happened. I mean, they skip to it, but he already has Chewie at this point, book one. This is interesting. You have A Cloak of Deception is a good prequel novel. You said, I think it's the weakest of Lucino's writings. I don't think it's bad.
Right.
I didn't say that, but I think a lot of his stuff is top notch, and I think that one's mid card.
That's the Qui-Gon one, correct?
Yes, and it should have been great. It should have been great. I was really excited to see it, but I felt it was mid card.
That one has like half the High Council on it, I believe, or in it at some point.
And to be fair, I should probably give it another shot. All right, should Disney do something like Sony with Ghostbusters Afterlife, adapt a Thrawn trilogy? Yeah, they won't. But, it'd be interesting to see. But I don't think they will. And to be honest, I'd be happy. I would just be happy for new novels, for Legends novels. I mean, honestly, if that's all we ever get, I'm glad. A comic book series, that'd be nice. I really like novels. What about short stories? I've always said that StarWars.com should feature a Legends tab where they just offer short stories once a week or something. That would even make me happy. I'd want more, of course. But if as high we got was novels, I would be fine. I would be fine. That's a good question though. Would you be fine with just short stories? I mean, ask yourself honestly, would you be happy with short stories, or would you be happy with short stories and comic books? I think that's a step up. Or would you be happy with books, comic books, and short stories? Or would you be happy with a Legends TV show? I think for me, to be honest, I mean, I'd love to see a Legends TV show, but if they were just at least doing books, I think that'd be the tier that I'd be most satisfied with. If they were just doing comic books, I'd be happy, but I'd want to see a novel. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Where would be yours? Would you end it? You'd say, no, Matt, short stories. I'd just be happy to see that.
I once thought about this because I was like, they have that new thing with the World Between Worlds and the Rebel show. I'm just like, it'd be kind of an interesting thought is if, like they had a TV series that was exploring alternate dimensions of Star Wars and it's the Legends stories. I don't know. I kind of felt like that would be kind of cool to bring in Legends. That's just me.
And by the way, they did an adaptation of Stars In, so that is it. Good call. Thank you. Okay. So where would you, Dylan, where would you want to... Where would you say? You got to ask yourself honestly. Would I be happy with? I think Jeremy would be happy with comic books.
Yeah,
I think he'd be fine with that. I mean, of course, we'd all want more, but I think where he'd say, "All right, good enough." For me, it's the novels. For Fifth Doctor, he says the novels.
For me, it more depends on not the medium we're getting, but the content we're getting.
Right.
Well, true, but this question is not about content. I mean, we're assuming we're keeping the classic content that we've had from the expanded universe, okay? I mean, if all we get is well-written short stories, so be it. I still would be like, now I want more,
See, I think short stories would work for, like, I think short stories would work for some of the bits of the EU that were never finished or bridged, but it wouldn't work for all of them. It would have to be short stories and some other form of medium that was tackling the larger stuff.
So you want something like a adventure journal?
Comics or novels, honestly, one of the two. Just for the larger story events, you would have to. I don't know how you
Okay.
could fill in
thinking
all
it-
the gaps with just short stories.
I was gonna say, thinking about it, I think I'd agree with him. I think comics or novels would be good too. Just changing my answer.
So you think you'd be happy? Would you be happy with just comic books? Like they came out with a comic book series, but it takes place in the Legends universe. You'd be saying, you know what? I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
honestly don't care if it's a novel or a comic, just so
Okay.
long as I'm getting a full story.
I like novels better, obviously, but you know, if we got comic books, I'm sure I'd be happy. I still want a novel because I'm a
I
novel
think
guy.
novels are cheaper.
Cheaper to make.
Production wise. 'Cause
Audio
you don't need
drama.
art.
Maybe I'm
You
not
don't
the
need
one to answer
storyboarders.
that. They have to pay a lot of money to the author. Depends on the author too.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Maybe you could be right. I just don't know what the cost would be.
Well,
If
maybe
that was
you
the
would pay
case,
the
then I'd be
authors
happy
more,
at novel.
or
I think you pay the authors more.
cost more, but there's more people
Yeah.
involved with the comic.
You again, you could be right. Comic books probably cost more. So in that case, I'd be happy with just novels, and I wouldn't need anything else.
Audio dramas would be kind of cool too.
Shut up, Adam.
Have you listened to any of the old audio dramas, Adam?
I'm listening to the audio books right now. That's kind of how I've been getting through the Star Wars books, was on Audible. So
They have some audio dramas of like the Dark Forces, Tales of some of the Tales of the Jedi stuff. They actually have like actual audio dramas, like full casts.
oh, awesome! I'll have to look for those. That'd be awesome.
Corrupted hard drive. That's what I would assume the short story would be. Weekly serials. That'd be fun. Would you settle for novel adaptation of serial game? No, I'd want them to continue the storyline, but I know a lot of people would be happy to see those, and I would be happy to see that. Back in the day, I was hoping they'd do novels for every video game.
So
Yeah,
you can
I'd like
story
an
to them without.
actual novel adaptation of like the KOTOR storylines to get like the actual canon version of events. I'm fine having an RPG where you can make all your decisions and everything, but it'd be nice to have the actual, real events, as it were.
They did make Revan canon recently, so hopefully they.
I don't care.
SJ, you have a question?
Do you watch the new Who with Jodie and Chibnall? I just can't, man. Honestly, I'm willing to give it a chance, but I'm not really excited about pursuing it. So I've just kind of been waiting for it to show up on a streaming service, and it hasn't. So I haven't checked it out. And yeah, I'm okay with making a lady doctor. I can see where they go with it. But from what I hear, they haven't really done that well with it. But I'm still willing to give it a shot, and maybe I will someday.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I hear someone moaning, one of my little girls, so that may be the call. But I want to thank my guest for coming on this edition of Nightcap. I want to thank everyone here.
Well, thanks for
This has
having
been a
me.
lot of fun.
Thanks
Thanks for joining in, everyone. Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah.
Without Dylan.